All right, people. So it's I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous as fuck right now, and it's a really big episode for me. It's been in the making, but I feel like enough time has passed, enough proper time has passed to get this interview off the ground, this episode off the ground. I promised y'all something good was coming. Didn't want to really blow it out of proportion, and it didn't turn out the way it wanted. So timing is everything, but. We have a very special guest in the building, Philly's own. You know, um, she's been very consistent over the last couple years. You can see her in Rectify, Grits, the Indie Man, ATL Homicide, Fatal Attraction, Be a Mary Jane, so on and so forth. She's been very consistent over the last couple years. But I feel like the thing that people are finding most notable as far as the horror genre goes is Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. But we'll figure out much more than that as the episode goes along. But people, like I said, I promised y'all something good, and I just want to welcome Philly's own CarMela McNeal. Thank you so much for being on the show with me, man. I feel like I'm still nervous. I'm like stammering over my words and stuff now that we're rocking and rolling. But it's great to have you. Thank you for being here. How are you feeling? How are you?
I'm
How's
feeling
everything
good. I'm
going?
feeling really good. Thank you for having me. I
At,
keep telling you stop being nervous. You don't have to be
well,
nervous. This
listen,
is just us hanging out right now.
I
Silly
know,
people
and
hanging out right now.
I know, and you said that you actually said that it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, and you're like, listen, don't be nervous. It's just gonna be like a couple of friends talking about a movie. And while I wanted to, I wanted to take that into consideration, I was just kind of like, no, you don't understand. Like, you are from the crib, you are from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and you are in a Halloween movie. So I didn't really want to consistently like blow smoke, but that's a big deal. Like especially like for somebody like me that is a hardcore horror buff, and not only a hardcore horror buff, but Michael Myers, Halloween's my favorite slasher franchise, but for you to be a part of that is I feel like it's just really amazing, and it's almost surreal in a couple ways. I'll get to how it's surreal in, later on
hmm
in the episode, but I just wanted to tell you that you being where you're from, to be involved in a Halloween series is just such a. I feel like it's a milestone in a career of yours that is already like about to skyrocket. So, I just wanted to say, we appreciate you being a part of that. We appreciate your character. We appreciate the work you've done prior to that, and the work that you're going to do in the future. But honestly, let me take the focus off of that because we'll get to Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills in a little bit. But how are you? Like, how's everything? I know press has been crazy, the interviews have been crazy, just the overall like hype of the movie, this recent movie has been crazy. So how have you been like taking in all of that and dealing with all of that type of stuff?
I think it's kind of like surreal, like you said, it might be a great word for it because I think it was a bunch of hurry up and wait because of COVID. So
Yeah.
there was like, we filmed it in 2019. So we're ready for it to come out in 2020. So I was like really hype about it, and then it didn't. So then it just calmed down. But then all of a sudden, September hit and then left, and October was here, and everything happened so fast. Like everything happened so fast. But in a weird way, even though it happened fast, it still felt like it was moving in slow motion. I can't explain. Like the events happened fast, but as I was in the events, it was like almost like my body wanted me to like really take it all in. So it felt like it was slow. So at the premiere, it felt slow. It didn't feel rushed. At the after party, it didn't feel rushed. So I was really living in my moment. So that's a blessing because like I've gotten married to my husband and we've had a vow renewal and both of those went like this.
Congratulations,
Like
by the way. Yeah, not to cut
thank
you
you,
off, but
thank you, thank you.
congratulations to you and your husband, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, it'll be 18 years in
Oh my
April that we've
God,
been married.
Jesus Christ. 18, yo, that is, you know what? I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but that is relationship slash marriage goals for me because, I see a lot of people get, they'll get engaged and break up. They'll get married and be like, oh well, we want to get a divorce after 1 year. That is time in. Y'all have kids together. That is amazing. That's such a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. I'm well.
It's not easy. It's a job. Being married is a job. Like
Yeah,
you have to put in the work. You can't just expect for it to be on autopilot and everything to be fine. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people in the very beginning of their marriage. Like they just think that, okay, we're married now, so it's just this is how we're going to live as a married couple. But there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot that interferes inside of that. You got bills, you got kids, you got responsibilities that add to the relationship. So it's not like when you were boyfriend and girlfriend and you go your separate way and he go his separate way, and
exactly. Yep.
and you have your own responsibilities. Now all the responsibilities becomes both of yours. So you have to get on one accord and you have to get along. Like he's my best friend.
Yeah, and
Like
that's
my
that's
husband makes he's the most funniest person I've ever met in my life. Like he makes me laugh. I love being around him. When I first met him, I used to wait for him to come home, and I still wait for him to come home. Like I can't wait to see him when he comes home. Like
but
it's so
that's
weird.
that's amazing because honestly, like that's one thing that I admire. Not just about what you just said, but just about like marriages in general, where people, they still keep that fire, they still keep that pilot lit after all those years. One of the biggest things, people, listen, we're going to veer off topic. This shit ain't just about Halloween Kills. We're going to dig into,
We don't went
Carmela
into
McNeal.
marriage.
No, listen, listen, we're going to dig into whatever aspects we can in the time that we have. It's not just going to be about Halloween Kills. We're going to get into who Carmela McNeal is and all that type of stuff.
Cool.
But I appreciate everything you just said because one of the things I'm big on, like I'm very old fashioned. My grandparents were married. I really wish I could remember how many years, but as long as I can remember, God rest their souls. But one of the things that people don't understand is that you have to really you have to keep that pilot lit. You can't just get married and it's like, all right, well, I have to stop doing everything that I stopped doing or everything that I started doing in the beginning. It doesn't work like that. I feel like you have to keep everything afloat that got you guys together in the first place to remind you guys, especially when times get rough, you have to remind yourselves of what brought you guys here in the first place. And I think that's amazing that you guys have that much time in and have a whole family together. That is, god damn, that's so great, man.
Yeah.
And especially
Thank you.
like especially in Philly, like where we come from, it's like it's people don't really I feel like people don't really appreciate great bonds and great just like
Hmm.
spiritual bonds and things like that. But I think that is.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I was definitely going to say that. Like coming
Mhm.
from where I'm from, and like I've had a single mom raising me. I've had a single grandmom raising her, and my uncles and my uncle and my aunts. So all I've seen around me was just single parents. Like
Yep, same here,
the
absolutely.
neighbor across the street, single parent. Like it's always single parent homes in the hood. Like that's just how it is mainly.
It was
And
regular, it was regular for us to
someone,
see.
if you see someone that had a mom and a dad at the house, like that was like big.
Yeah,
Like
it was
they
like a
like
unicorn back then. It was like, what, you got both your
right,
mom and your dad at
right,
home? Like, it's like,
right, right.
yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, so that was like huge to me when my husband asked me to marry him because that was like it's a really important thing to me, and I take it very seriously. So I mean, you when you said about because you said something just now that made me want to think about it. When you said about keeping things the same so that you basically go back to what you fell in love with in the beginning,
Hmm.
I will say this: your foundation has to be strong. Like your
Absolutely.
communication and your trust and all that has to be strong because
Absolutely.
the physical may change. No one looks like they looked when they were like younger.
Absolutely
So
not.
that's going to change. Like for me, when I had children, like I gained several pounds. Like you know what I mean, and I
Hmm.
did not feel like myself or look like myself, and that took me out of the mode of trying to please my husband because it was all about my kids. For a long time. So that's what I meant by interference. It's going to be interference that comes in, but you have to be strong enough in your bond to last through that because we're not the only ones who go through things. Everyone goes through things. There's no perfect marriage. So,
Right.
but you have to be able to weather those waters when it happens. and you can't do it for somebody else. You can't do it for people who want y'all to stay together. You can't do it for the kids. You have to do it for each other. You have to want to be there, because there's nothing worse than being in a relationship and you don't want to be there, or the
Exactly.
other person don't want to be there, and you're trying to force them to be with you. That's the worst.
Yeah.
So to have a
I
partner and still be in love, like, that's huge.
I agree 200% because I feel like there are a lot of while we're still on the topic of this type of thing, I feel like there's a lot of people who they either feel trapped in their marriages or their relationships, or they feel like, oh, we need to stay together because of the kids, which this is just
Mm-hmm.
my personal opinion. I feel like it's a selfish thing, because if you're unhappy, there's no reason for your kids to see you unhappy. But the fact that
Mm-hmm.
you and your husband understand that there's got to be sacrifices made on you and his behalf for the sacrifice of everything that's going on around y'all is just
Right.
really fucking dope. Like, I really like,
Right.
it's very rare
Thank
to
you.
hear, because people don't, I'm old, like I keep saying I'm old fashioned, and a lot of people don't appreciate those types of bonds and stuff like that. So I think that's amazing, and I'm rooting for y'all. I'm rooting for
Thank
y'all
you.
200%. I'm rooting for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But while we are on, before I get into my first question, how does actually, this was one of my questions, but I'll use it as the first one, and I'll just exit out for later on. But is it hard, like, as far as your acting career, like spending time away from your husband and your kids and stuff like that? Like, does it ever affect like life at home per se? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, you have to do this audition, or
Hmm.
shoot this movie and stuff like that. Does it ever, like, does it ever get involved in anything that happens at home type of thing? Not to get too personal. I ain't trying to get
No, no,
all,
no, no,
yeah, I'm
no.
not trying to get all love and hip hop. I'm not doing all love and hip hop type of shit. Yeah, I'm not a shock jock. I told you that. I'm not doing that.
No, no, you're good. I think because he was on this journey with me with the film and television. Like, I've done theater in the past when I was younger,
Oh
but as
wow.
far as film and television, when we moved from Florida, and I started acting in Atlanta, taking classes and things like that, he was right there from the very beginning. So he saw the whole process. He knew how bad I wanted it, and I wanted to prove to him how bad I wanted it, because he was not allowing me, but there's responsibilities, right, between a husband and a wife.
Right.
So I was going to pursue the acting thing,
Hmm.
and he was like, "All right, well, I got everything else." You know what I mean? So that's a lot on someone. So I wanted to prove to him, like, look, I'm doing this and I'm serious about this. This is really what I want to do. This is what I've always wanted to do. And I'm going to take this ball and run with it, because people don't get these opportunities. So I'm trying to show you that, him, my husband, that I am going to really freaking put my all into this and see what happens. So he's been there from the beginning. So he's seen all the rejections. He's seen me get mad. He's seen me get mad about class. He's seen me get mad about auditions. He's seen me get mad about agents. He's seen all of that. So
The
he's
gauntlet.
been there through it all.
Yeah, the
So when
gauntlet.
I when hmm so when I booked kills and Halloween and things like that, like, it's just so refreshing, because you don't get no's, you don't get anything, you don't hear anything if you don't book anything. You just see it on TV, or you see it in the movies,
Oh
like, oh, I guess they
wow.
got
So
somebody.
they don't
Yeah, you
so
don't. No
so they
one
don't
tells you
call you
anything.
back like, listen, Miss McNeal, we like you, but we didn't, we couldn't.
No.
Oh, so it's
Mm-mm.
just like, listen,
No.
you see the role that you auditioned for on TV at the time, and it's just like, well, fuck, like, I know I did better
Right.
than that person, but y'all went with the hotter commodity type of thing. That's, you know
Yep.
what? That's, god damn it, that's the industry, and it is such BS. But you know what? It's, I
But
feel
you know
like,
what? When you get a role, I mean, when I get a role, or when the other person gets a role,
uh-huh.
the person it's someone else in your shoes. So there's someone else who auditioned for that same role too, who
Okay.
didn't get it, who's watching you, like, I know I'm better than her. I know or either, like, for a lot of reasons, like, I don't think that I'm better than anyone else, because everyone's different. Like, their acting abilities, their skills, the way they look, everything is different. Like, just like humans, we're all different. So That's basically what actors are. So we bring something different to the character. You and I both could audition for the same character, have the same background of the character, the breakdown, and still do it totally different because you're still going to bring a little bit of you in that character. So
Yeah.
with that in mind, like, yeah, so someone else is going to watch me and be like, I could have did that. Like, you know what I mean? Or most of the time I'm like, oh, I get it. Like when I watch things and I'm like, oh, I get it. I see why they picked her because, she did it this way. Or,
Right.
and I see, and you tweak how you did it. But you never know behind the scenes. Like it could be the casting director talking to the director and the casting director could have liked you, but the director liked her. And then the director will pick her.
He has the
You,
last
or it
say
could
at
have
the
been
end
a
of the day.
battle, or it
Yeah.
could have been a battle back and forth between, it could have been very tight, and they might have just picked her because she has a look or whatever. But you can't get. I tried in the beginning when like I said, when my husband used to be there, when I used to be upset, I used to get so upset and so
No, rightfully
so
so though,
mad
because
about it.
you work
And
hard
it's
for
just like,
something.
right. So then it's like, then after a while, like now, because I'm more about just enjoying life now. So I just do the audition and I completely let it go. When we're in class, they tell you that, like, do the audition, let it go, blah, blah, blah. But that's hard. That's easier said than done. But
Right.
I feel like in my career, I've gotten to the point now where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this audition and I'm going to let it go. And I really do let it go. And if it's meant for me, it'll be for me. That's how I look at it.
That is absolutely true. And I feel like wait. So just so there's no confusion, can you please let the people know like which part of Philly? Because I swear to God, I hate to say this, but I almost forgot my damn self. But like we need to know which part of, because I feel like I remember what part of Philly you're from, but I don't want to say the wrong thing and piss you off during this interview. But
No,
it's
I won't get pissed, but I want to hear what you think. What do you
is it
think?
was it South Philly?
It is South
Oh
Philly.
wait, where
Born and
was it?
raised,
Because
yes.
I lived in
South
South
Philly.
Philly for 7 years of my life. I did.
All right, so I live in the Point Breeze area,
Oh my
like
God!
down
So
by
you,
20th and
no wonder
yeah,
you
yeah.
played Vanessa in Halloween Kills, because you mother listen. Nah, cause Point Breeze. Listen, I got a homie. I'm not gonna put his name out there. You know who you are if you tune into the Tutor Reviews podcast, sir. But I've got a homie that lives out in Point Breeze, and I remember when we were kids growing up. Like I said, I lived in South Philly 7 years of my life, and I remember we couldn't even ride bikes to Point Breeze. Like our parents were like, "Nope, you got to cut it off when you get there." And I even know right now, like my homie was like, "Yeah, I got a crib down Point Breeze. You can bring your daughter down." And I'm like, "No, I will not do that," because they still get it in. But I lived like literally right around the corner from 16th and Wharton, so we're not,
Oh, okay, so that
yeah,
my
like
school was at 16th and we're in Barrett. I went to Barrett. That was my
you went
middle
to
school.
Barrett?
Yeah,
Barrett, I
right.
swear to
Yeah.
God, I was right across the street. I lived on Mole Street, the little small block right
Oh,
across from
okay, right
Barrett.
there, a little
Yeah,
block.
no,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
lie. Good shit, good shit. Okay, okay.
yeah.
So I was right. I was
Yeah.
right. But yeah, Battens was right there, and God rest his soul, Mike's Chinese store was right across the street. But yeah, 16. But yeah, so you're definitely hard. Okay, I'm gonna wait, because the fact that you grew up around Point Breeze definitely reflects on a question I'm gonna ask you later on in the episode. But I wanted to ask you, as far as the acting goes, like, what were the driving forces growing up in Philly as far as you wanting to be an actress? Like, was there a specific person, like place or thing that like really inspired you? Like, listen, I found my calling. This is my drive. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I'm passionate about. Like, what really like enforced you to like really embark on this journey of being an actress in the industry?
I wish I could say that there was something that influenced me or someone that influenced me, but it wasn't like that. It was really just based off of me being the only child, like
Oh wow.
because.
Okay.
So my mom and I were like best friends. So if you saw her, you saw me. So a lot of times I would be by myself with no brother or sister or cousin or friend. So I'd be in my room and I listen to music all the time. I would put on skits by myself all the time. Like I've always loved Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And like that that's where I wanted to be. Like I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, and still to
Right.
this day, like I want to be on Saturday Night Live. Like I love Saturday Night Live. So I've always like tried to do my own skits like by myself, like set it up, and
That's fucking
I
awesome.
used to do like the request line on the radio, so I would play like a song on my tape deck, recorded on the other side while I'm saying, oh, that was BBD, like like
Right.
I would
You
call
had to
my
get
friends.
creative. Like as the only child, you had to
I
get creative.
swear. I swear, there was a girlfriend that I had. She's on my Instagram too, so she'll probably see this. And I used to literally call her and have her request a song on my radio station. And while I record her on the tape deck, and then I'll play it back and be like, "What would you like to hear? Oh, you would? All right, let's put that on." Like, so I've always been pretending, acting, all of that, and I've always had the personality and the gift of gab. So that's always been there. That's just in me. But I will say this, like, and this might get a little personal, but
No,
I've
it's
never
okay.
said this
Feel
before.
free. This is a safe place on the Tutor. This is a safe place. Trust me.
I remember, and this is the honest to God truth. My dad was not in my life like that, right?
Hmm.
At all, really. So I remember saying like I wanted to be on TV so he could see me, like so he can see me and he can see that I still like, because I felt like even if I went to college or if I did anything like that, like he wouldn't know. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if he wasn't in my life like that, he wouldn't know
Hmm.
what I was doing. Like and I used to always say like when I get on TV, like he'll see me and he'll know, and then my mom and I will be rich, and he'll think about it like not being in my life then, like it'll give him some type of regret or whatever. And now we still don't talk, but now that I'm on the big screen and the TV, I don't even think about that. You know why? Because I'm so freaking happy in my life, and being an actress or being in this movie doesn't define me. I've went to college. I've raised my kids. My kids. We're still raising our kids. I have a healthy marriage. These are the things that he didn't see. So it doesn't matter about the acting now. But I'm just glad that I got into it. But that's the reason why I wanted my dad to see me on TV. Crazy.
But
Yeah.
I feel like like and this is not, I don't know if my pop is going to listen. My pop just recently watched Halloween Kills, so he might listen to this interview. And pop, this is not to dish you,
Why you
but
look just like your dad too?
listen.
I
Listen, we've
was
got,
like
listen, you have to
some
blame God.
strong genes over there.
Listen, God rest my grandmother's soul. You have to blame her, because if you see my grandmother's side of the family, my dad, all his siblings, are my cousins and stuff, so on and so forth. We have really strong fucking genes, and it's very scary. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like even my daughter,
Mm.
looks like a little bit of that side of the family. But it's like, I say that to
Oh
say
yeah.
this. I don't, I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but he wasn't really consistent when I was a child either. But I
Mm-hmm.
like what you just said right there. It kind of struck a nerve, because you said that you wanted to make it so it's just like, listen, I'm going to be on the big screen. But now that you said you're there, and you're getting all this acclaim, and you're climbing the mainstream entertainment ladder, I feel like that's got to be such a refreshing feeling, that you've just brushed it off your shoulders, and you're like, listen, I don't even care anymore. I'm good. I'm in a good mental space. My family's in a good mental space. My
Mm-hmm.
career's in a good mental space, to the point where you don't even worry about that type of stuff anymore. I think that's so amazing, because I love seeing people, especially like like actors or actresses in your case. I feel like that's amazing, because it's always good to see growth. You don't want to see
Mm-hmm.
somebody just like carrying around a weight on their shoulders and just wearing it on their sleeve in such an obvious sense. But for you to come out and say that on this show is just, I feel like it's amazing, but I feel like it's a testament of your growth to be able to, to come out and say that type of thing. So I mean, would you, this is actually a segue into my next question. So would you call that like an inspiration to like how far you've gotten in your career? Like, as far as like, okay, I'm not worried about if y'all see me or not. I'm worried about where I'm going right now. Would you use the people that didn't, care to, be there or support? Do you use that as like use that as motivation to keep you
Like,
going?
right. Um, no, not really.
Oh my
It's
god.
weird because you would think that that's how it happens, right? That's what you like. Look
Yeah.
at all the haters seeing me now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
that's what I thought.
yeah. No, I'm not. Okay. I would say this, and this is probably the reason why. I think that the whole dad thing was like the little girl who always wanted her dad. Of
Okay,
course, like
right.
I've always wanted my dad in my life,
Hmm.
always, and
Rightfully
it just
so.
didn't work out that way, and that's okay. So that part was that, but the part about I just feel like with my mom, we were so close, and when I lost her, it was just like nothing else kind of mattered that much anymore
Right.
because I lost the most important person in my life.
Absolutely.
So anybody else that I lost around that time or
Did
after that time,
didn't
like it's
matter.
just like okay,
Yeah.
right? It was like you were supposed to not be in my life. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But my mom, like that just changed everything for me. It changed my perspective on life. It changed everything. So when my mom died, like even up to my before my mom died, like I still wanted my dad, like in my
Hmm.
life. And when my mom died, it was just like, okay, like that's it wasn't meant to be for him to be in my life because that
Yeah.
was the time for him to, come around. It wasn't like I was a little kid. I was grown when she died. So it was like, he still could have, whatever, but it didn't happen that way. So it was just like, all right, so I'll make do. Like, and I try not to hate on people because I feel like if I take that same energy, then that comes into my aura, and
Yep.
then what I manifest will be nothing. Like,
Absolutely.
so I try to treat people positively, and I really try to put out positive energy now because I've learned myself. Like, I kind of know who I am more than I did before. And with that, I can navigate through my life and be more positive, and because I'm not just doing it just because I think that that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing it because that's who I am. So and that motivates me to be better. The more positive energy I put out, hopefully the more positive things will come into my life. So I try not to think about the haters and stuff because if they're hating on me, then they can't move forward, right?
That's absolutely right. And
So
and
that's how
pray
I think about it.
and prayers
Like
up and rest
there's
in
no reason to
peace.
hate on me. I don't even give people a reason to hate on me. Like,
Yeah,
so
well, I need to take a note
thank you.
I need to take a
Thank you.
page out
She's
of
my
your
biggest
notebook
supporter, yeah.
because I really need to take a page out of your notebook because it's just like, I think I focus too much on that because I overthink everything. So for you to sit up there and
Mm.
say, you can't really worry about hate, like that's actually like motivation, that's inspiring me. And also I wanted to say, like, prayers up, rest in peace, shout out to your mom.
Thank you.
Your
Thank
best
you.
friend, your biggest supporter, that is amazing. I'm pretty sure she is proud of all the work you have done. But so we don't, harp on
Thank
that
you.
and get too emotional. Speaking of,
Right.
what inspires you, you just said the haters don't inspire you, all that other type of stuff. Were there any on-screen inspirations for you as far as actresses go? Like, was there an actress that you saw, like maybe when you were a kid or teenager or young adult, or even, today
Hmm.
before you booked even your biggest roles? Like, was there an actress or maybe an actor even that, kind of like inspired you, like, you know what? I can do that right
Hmm.
there. Like, was there like a really big inspiration to get you like into the game and, get your head right type of thing?
So I said this on another interview, but it's the honest to God truth. It might sound a little unorthodox because she's not just an actress. She's
Hmm.
a singer. She's an entertainer. She's a wife. She was a wife. She was a mother. But it's Donna Ross.
Oh my
So when I
God.
first saw Lady Sings the Blues, like I was like, she is so freaking pretty.
That's
Like
awesome
she was
though.
just like how you seen her in Motown when we growing up, like you see her on the Motown 25th and all this other stuff, and you see all of
Yeah.
that, and you're just like, that's her. She's cool. But when you see her on a movie, like she was able to transition from that and just be like a great actress. The chemistry that her and Billy D. Williams had was like amazing. Like I just wanted that. Like anytime an actor or actress makes you forget who they are, that's how you know that's great acting.
Absolutely.
Like she was Diana Ross, but when she was Billie Holiday, she was Billie Holiday. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
he was Billy D. Williams, but when he was with her and that and Mahogany and the other one, like he was that character. it could have been easy for them to play the same thing twice because they literally was together as a
Yeah.
couple twice. But the depth and the just how good she was, and I will say this: the person who reminds me so much of that right now that inspires me, and it's going to sound weird again
Come
because
on
it's
with
not
it.
like a famous actress or
Come
whatever.
come
It's
on with it.
Gaga,
Come on now. Come on with it.
Lady Gaga,
Oh, really?
Lady Gaga. Mm-hmm. Same
Really?
thing. It's the same thing. Like I loved her when she first came out with Just Dance. I loved Lady Gaga's style. I loved all that about her. And I just thought she was just a great singer, entertainer. Like she can sing her behind off or whatever, you know? But then when I saw her acting, I'm like, God damn, like this girl is good.
I feel like
Man, A Star is Born was so good.
I feel like and I'm a lot of people might come for me for this because I get a lot of shit for not seeing certain things and seeing certain roles in movies. I don't think I've seen Lady Gaga act. I know she was in I think what's that movie with Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born or something like that. And
Right, right,
I know
right.
I know she was in American Horror Story. I have not seen either. And a lot of people are like, "What?
Oh,
You're
okay.
supposed to be a movie buff and you haven't seen?" But I hear that her acting is really, really good. So I mean, I'll get around to it eventually. But
Well,
that's
I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you
that's
to
awesome
take
though.
some time out of your day and watch A Star Is Born. I promise you. And with A Star Is Born, and that came out the same time as Halloween 2018.
Did it
Because
really?
I remember seeing both of them. I remember seeing both of them in the movies.
Oh
Yes.
wait, so hold up.
And
So
A
you
Star Is
went so you went to the theater to see the movie you were in, and what you do, a double feature, and you were like, "Wait, I want to see if these
Didn't
people are in
I?
I want to see if these
Didn't
people
I?
recognize me in the theater."
No, no, no. You couldn't recognize me at 18.
Oh my god,
That
but
was
that's
not an
dope.
issue back then.
But that's
But
awesome though. It's like
like
I would do that. I would sit in the back of the theater like, "Wait, I want to see if these people recognize me in this movie." And if they do, I would just tap them like, "Yo, that movie was scary, wasn't it?" And they'd be like, "Oh my god, you were in Halloween." That's
no,
awesome,
my
man.
husband, when we first saw it together, it was all four of us. It was my two children and my husband. And when it was over and we watched the credits come down, this is 2018. My husband, it was a lady that was by herself. It was like an older lady came to the movies by herself.
Uh-huh.
Clearly don't want to be bothered. Here you go. That's my wife. My wife was the one that had on the nurse outfit that went to the car. I'm like, leave that damn lady alone.
But
You
listen,
can't see me and get into the car, and you can't see me in the dark movie theater. Leave that lady alone. Like,
no, no. Shout out to your hubby because he's supposed to be your
oh
biggest
no, he's
cheerleader.
proud.
Yes,
He is.
he is supposed to be your biggest cheerleader. Shout out to your hubby because I probably would have done the same thing. Like, yo, you know she was right. But listen, I'm gonna get to this though. But I can understand why he was hyped because your character and Michael Smallwood's character, y'all were even though it was like very brief. The encounter was brief. Y'all and like I said, I'll get to this in a little bit. But y'all were a part
Mm-hmm.
of probably one of the best sequences of Halloween 2018. That tracking shot was amazing, and
Right.
something told me that when y'all like not him because he was just like the keys were in my pocket the whole time, and you were like, did Rebecca give you directions? With the way you looked at Michael Myers, it's something. I'm not gonna say I knew you were coming back, but it was like that wasn't for no reason because a lot of movies they don't bring back like quote unquote side characters nowadays. It's just like a one-off type
Mm-hmm.
of thing. Halloween movies have done that from the beginning of time of Halloween history. But for you
Mm-hmm.
guys to both come back, I feel like that was something like really amazing. But to get sidetracked again for a second. Were there like as far as your early auditions go? Were there any like
Mm-hmm.
are there any like standout moments like were there auditions that were just really bad or auditions that were really good that you walked out of like I know I nailed that. I know I bodied it. You know what I'm saying? Like like on the double side of that coin, was there any auditions basically that stood out to you, good or bad? It doesn't matter. You don't have to share both. But
So there's a system that we have that we use. It's a website, and it keeps like all of our auditions that we've done. If you do it on that platform, if you send them in to the casting director on that platform, so there's from the moment I started, my first audition is on that platform all the way up until my last audition I did yesterday.
oh
So
wow.
like they're all on there. That if you do it underneath that platform, so when I go back and I watch, I mean, my husband and I, used to have like arguments, like because I do self tapes at home. Like a lot of us in the southeast area, we do self tapes where we record ourselves and then we send it in to the casting director, and that's how they either call you back for a callback or they just book you right from there because they don't have much time to book. So we tried to like set up the whole thing at the house. So we had like a blue background, and we was using my DSLR camera that I barely use. He had just bought it for me for Mother's Day. So it was like we were just willy-nilly doing whatever, and it looked like it. Like those auditions.
Jesus.
Those auditions looked like we didn't know what we were doing, but we have come so far, and we used to fuss at each other too. Like sometimes we would record it and you wouldn't hear any audio because the microphone didn't turn on because we had like an external mic, and then sometimes we would record it and I would take the SD stick and then put it inside of my laptop and it would be nothing in it. So I'd be stressed out like at 4 a.m, up all night trying to edit a video to send to the casting director. So that was like a whole nightmare. So all of those was just horrible. All of those. They were horrible. So we have come a long way. One day, I swear, I think I'm going to put up my very first audition was taped at the school. So that wasn't really something that we had jacked up. So that was pretty good. But the ones that we jacked up, like the lighting is bad. Like you can't hardly see me. It's just, the sound is off. It's just bad. Like it's really bad.
Humble beginnings.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, humble beginnings. That's all.
We've come a long way.
That's humble beginnings. I feel like that's awesome because I feel like even actresses like maybe the first person that comes to mind is like Viola Davis, or the first actor that comes to mind is Denzel Washington. I feel like they didn't start off as the most amazing actors in the world. You know, they probably had auditions they bombed and auditions they weren't proud of. And I'm all about like humble beginnings. Like even for me, like personally, like with the podcast, like I still can't go back and listen to my first episode because I know that I was just shitting bricks that entire time. So I know that gradually you're supposed to like, you know, you're supposed to get better at your passion and stuff like that. So I feel like that's real, you know, that is a humble thing because you do have a lot of actors. You got a lot of, you know, I'm not saying no names, but you got a lot of mainstream, independent, and you know, like Hollywood actors and actresses that be like, man, I've been the shit since the beginning of time, and you know, they're not humble at all. But I feel like that's, you know, since I found out you were from Philly, and I was like, oh my God, CarMela McNeal, she's from Philly, and she was the girl that was in Halloween 2018, and she's coming back for Halloween Kills. Like, I feel like you've been the same humble person from that moment on, you know, since I asked you, you know, can I interview you on the podcast? And you were like, listen, let's just wait until the movie comes out. Let's wait until this smoke clears and stuff like that. And then I got you. And that was also, if I can get sidetracked for a second before we get into the next question, that is also something that will always stand out to me. That is so awesome of you to just interact. And I remember there was one day I was just sitting in the crib minding my business, and you got back to me and you were like, listen, I didn't forget about you. You know, you from the same place I'm from. I didn't forget about you, you know, jumping on the podcast with you, but let's just wait a while. And I remember telling my cousin, shout out to M. Wright. I know he's actually excited that I'm interviewing you because he was like, wait, that girl from Halloween Kills is from the crib? Like, she's from Philly? I was like, yes, dog. I was like, yes, she is. But I remember telling him, I was like, yo, like, she really got back to me. Like, she's a real human being. She got back to me and told me she didn't forget about me and she doesn't forget about her day ones. But I feel like we live in an era where people are just so like self-entitled and just so cocky about, you know, the art and the craft of what they do, that they forget about the people, you know, I hate to say it, but the little people, you know, I know hopefully nobody gets offended when I say this to the reviewers, but y'all know what I mean by the little people. I feel like is such it's a great testament to who you are in your career, that you interact with all the fans and stuff like that. You know, as much as you can, you respond to messages.
I try to,
yeah, you respond to comments, and you don't have a lot of people like that. And I feel like that's so amazing because it lets people know, you know, you're not a drone, you're not just a Hollywood puppet, you're an actual human being, you know, that enjoys what you do, and you enjoy the fact that people enjoy what you do as well. So that
Right.
is
Are interested in what I do. Yeah, that's
exactly.
huge.
Yeah, that is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. That is amazing. So I gotta ask you now. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when I went on, because I had to go on IMDb, don't judge my life. I see that Rectify was the first show that was under your credits. Was that the first role you had gotten on screen, or was that the first like mainstream thing you've gotten? Did you do like independent prior to that, or was that like the first? Okay, I'm here now, and I need to cement myself in the
Mm-hmm.
game type of thing. Oh, it was okay.
Right. It was the no. You know what was it? I think I booked that and probably the first Fatal Attraction around the same time. I had a small role in Fatal Attraction, but Rectify was my first big booking through my agent. So yeah, so that was like huge for me. It had like one line, and then they narrowed that down to okay, and that was it.
they said, they said, all right, listen, you all right, that's enough. They said, all right, that's enough.
Right.
We got some other lines to get up in here.
Right.
Damn. You know what?
That's not even the when I did it. I did the line when I was on set. I did the line,
Uh-huh.
and then when they filmed it and they edited it and then we watched it on TV because you don't get anything ahead of time. You watch it when it airs.
Oh, when it airs, okay.
When it aired,
Yeah.
So when it aired, my daughter, my son, my husband and I were watching it, and I was like, here I come, and I had a walk that I walked all the way down the thing, and I was all excited about the walk because the camera's just on me. I'm like, at least I might say one line, but I got that walk though, so I had a walk. And I'm walking in the whole cop uniform or whatever, and then I was supposed to say something they cut a whole part of me saying something to the sheriff, and then when we go into the room, he was like, "Okay, brother," and I was like, "Okay."
I was about to say because yeah, you played Deputy Retta. You played Deputy Retta on Rectify, right? So
right,
damn,
right.
so they cut your shit down
and everything. Yeah, I was excited.
Listen,
Oh, but that's not that. Listen, that happens. Like I had a whole thing in being Mary Jane and
which I do have in my questions, which I definitely got that in my questions. It's not really intricate, but first of all, let me tell y'all something. If the producers or whatever from Rectify, don't ever do that again. All right, listen, Philly, we work hard. Don't cut her fucking lines, all right? I don't know if y'all gonna listen to this. I'm gonna go on IMDb and tag the producers. Don't do that because we work hard.
I like them.
You know what? Okay, all right, cool. Well, I strike that last comment. Strike that last comment from the episode because she likes them, and I don't want to fuck up.
Good. Yeah, they were very good to me. Like they gave me my first shot.
That's cool though. That's awesome.
Yeah, the actual creator, producer, he said to me, he had a talk with me, and he told me that because on my resume at the time, I told you I came from theater, so it was all theater on my resume. So
theater acting.
He had a theater background. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I did not know. I feel like my whole
that was how.
I feel like my whole questionnaire just got sidetracked because I did not know. That is something I should have did my research on. I did not know you came from theater acting. That is amazing.
Oh, I did. Society Hill Playhouse. It used to be at 8th Street, in between Lombard and South Street. Yeah.
My charter school was on Lombard and South. Yeah.
Oh, really?
WCCS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was my that was my school. Yeah, right next to they changed the club. It was right next to a club, but they changed the club name to Azor. The clinic was right down the block. You know, it was right off of Broad. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, we're like closer than we think, man. I love it. People, I make it come full circle.
Is close. That's what I'm saying. Like even though we go through our stuff there, it seems like there's a connection, some kind of way with somebody in Philly. And like, I know that in South Philly, and especially in Point Breeze, we all know each other. But like even when you meet someone and you're both not in Philly anymore. Like you're just instantly connected. So, I see people.
It's a small city.
Here, so.
Small city and small world. I swear, I did not. I really wish I would have did my research better and known that you came from theater acting. My next question, I kid you not, was do you prefer like dramatic acting or thriller acting? But I known you came from a theater background, because that was actually something I was thinking about in my head, because I'm like, wait, has she done theater? I don't think so. So I'll just compare it to, TV acting and, big screen theatrical acting. But I feel like I'm so glad you said that and mentioned that, because theater acting, and me and my uncle, shout out to Uncle Drizzy, I always, me and him always talk about it, and I tell him, I feel like theater actors and theater acting in general, I feel like that's big boy shit, because it's almost like live music. Because if you mess up a line, you have to have a certain camaraderie with those people on the stage, that maybe, okay, let's say me and you are on stage performing lines together. If I fuck up a line, then we have to, maybe we hang out outside of work. So maybe we have a camaraderie where if I mess up a line, you can pick up the slack and you can improv something and we can bounce right back into it. I feel like theater is the most, I feel like it's the hardest form of acting, honestly, because TV acting you can say cut, movie theatrical acting you can say cut, but theater acting is like you're right there in front of everybody's face. So would you say, like, what would you prefer out of those three, and what would you say is the hardest one to do out of those three?
I would say the theater, theater is not hard. It's just you have to know exactly what you're in for. Like, so you know that you're going out to a crowd that may have laughed at you the day before, the night before, when you had a performance on this particular line, and now you go out there and you're waiting for that laugh on that line, and it doesn't happen. So, like, you can't like live in that and mess up the next part of your performance because you were so busy waiting on them to laugh or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that the reason why I'm so good at improv, which I think I am, is because of my theater background. Because there's times, like there was a time where I did a performance and my skirt was, the dress was up in my pantyhose. Like, so there's
Oh
no going back
Lord.
from that. Like, so, and we turned around and it was like all my butt was out. So that's it. That's that. And then there was one time we were on stage and we went to go. There was a song that was supposed to play. Now we're not playing a song on the actual tape deck, but we have to act like we're pushing the buttons because everything has to be real big, in theater, so everyone can see it. So we're acting like we're pushing the button, and the music never played. So we had to improv there, like to say, like, what's going on with the music? Like, like what, until things get right. So you have to be spontaneous. That's why I've always wanted to do like SNL, because I always felt like I was good at just
Oh
being.
wow.
I've never worried about being in front of a crowd. I've never worried about coming out on the stage. I've never been nervous. So I
Oh
just felt
my
like I
God.
can do that.
Well, listen,
Now
please.
on set, I was nervous, but it seemed like it
Wait,
would
you
be
were
more
nervous?
nervous
You
if I
weren't
were in
nervous
front
in
of a
front of a
crowd, right?
crowd, but you were nervous on set. How does that work? How does that work?
Because
I
because
would
the
be the
set.
complete opposite. Like I really would shit bricks in front of an audience. Like I can't do, like that's one of the reasons I don't have a YouTube channel yet, is because I feel so comfortable. Like, not to say I can't get out of my comfort zone, but I feel comfortable
Mhm.
letting people hear my voice. Like I'm very conscious about how people see me and how I present myself, like as far as like doing,
Mhm.
movie stuff and episodes and stuff like that. But you, like, that is, god damn, that's really like heavy. You could tell you come from a theater background, because you're just like, you're brushing it off like it's nothing. Like, yeah, I ain't afraid to be around nobody, but on the set where we can call cut, whatever. Like it's all good. I'm scared. I'm scared.
No, that was a little nerve wracking. I think the set was more because you have like a concentrated amount of people just doing their thing, and then when they do their thing, because they're really good at it, so when they do their thing, they're expecting you to be good at what you do too, because
Yeah.
everyone on that set has a duty, and everyone knows what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we got the lighting, we got the scene set up, we changed everything around, now it's your turn, and everybody's watching you.
So there's like
Like,
12 or
okay, we did
12 or
our.
15 crew members around you, like
Oh, it's
just,
way more than
yeah,
that.
just,
I
oh
was in
god damn.
Kills. Yeah,
I
that's a
thought it was
whole
I thought it
village.
was like 12 or 15. You said it's way more than
Oh,
that.
heck no.
God damn.
No.
I'm thinking like
Oh,
I'm
no,
thinking the
yeah.
bare minimum. I have
There
I
are departments. There are departments that are there, like lighting department
like
and
lighting, makeup
sound department.
department.
Like, there's a whole
Yeah.
bunch of people. Yes,
script
yes,
supervisors
yes.
and stuff like that. Okay,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, the script
Damn.
supervisor. Yes,
That's oh my
yes.
god. That's
The producers is there who put money into what you're doing. David is a producer, so his money is in there too. So and,
right.
so you're like, I'm not trying to mess up any of this for anyone. Like, and I
Right.
want them to know that they made the right decision. So yeah, that I think that's why I was more nervous on that one. Plus, it was a larger role. It was time for me to show that I can really act because it gave my character a backstory almost. Like it gave for me, like I developed the backstory. I developed like I can really create who Vanessa was. And
Absolutely.
it's hard to do that with a co-star role with a one line. It's hard to do that, you know. So I was happy to give her some depth. That's why I kept saying when we were in the pandemic that I can't wait for you guys to see Vanessa. I can't wait for you guys to
I know,
because I knew she was like something. Yeah.
and you know what? I'm not just blowing smoke here. I'm not trying to blow up the spot, but I feel like, and I'll probably say this again once we wrap this up, but I feel like Nurse Vanessa is one of those characters in the Halloween series that people are going to remember because I remember you specifically telling me. I remember I DM'd you after after they dropped the Halloween Kills final trailer, or it was I think it was the second trailer, and I was like, I know I don't see what I think I see in that trailer, and you were like, listen, you stopped me and you were like, listen, I'm telling you, Vanessa's gonna be a memorable character. Just wait and see. I'm not saying nothing. Just wait and see what happens. And then I remember watching the movie, and I remember cheering at some point, but then like, listen, we'll get to it. But I love that you look at it like, okay, this is like I'm coming back. Y'all gave me an opportunity to come back. Okay, let me put some oomph into it. Let me give it all I got so that I can be remembered as a character in a Halloween movie. And I think that's so dope because I'm not gonna lie, this is no diss because Halloween, the series, Michael Myers is my favorite slasher. It's my favorite Halloween series, or it's my favorite
Mm-hmm.
slasher series. But I feel like there's a lot of characters that come and go in that series. Whether they live or whether they die. There's a lot of fucking characters in that series that it's just like, okay, we barely even remember them unless we do like
Mm-hmm.
a frame by frame, a look back on the movie. But I feel like as far as Halloween Kills, there's so many memorable characters, and your character is one of them that's going to go down in Halloween history. So I really appreciate that you came back and you really wanted to bring it and you wanted to have like a memorable scene. And we'll get to it, people. I'm not gonna say spoiler alert because y'all already know what it is at this point if y'all are tuning in, but we're going to get to that scene, people. So I mean, to shift gears again, which I'm gonna I'm gonna keep doing. That's my OCD and ADD right now. But so with that being said, do you prefer like horror thriller roles or would you prefer like dramatic roles? What's your like preference? Do you have one or are you just like
I don't
multi
have a
hype?
preference.
Yeah, okay, so you're like
I don't
multi
have a preference
hyphenate. You're like, listen,
because
I'll do whatever. I'll
right,
do
I'll
like
take comedy. I'll take I'll take whatever.
right, yeah. So okay, so but
Well,
that's
the fact that I can do those things, like, is that's I'm ready to use it because I have that in my arsenal. Like I really can do comedy and I really can do drama and I really can do action and I really can do those things. I mean, and I feel like in a way Vanessa kind of gives you a little glimpse into what I can do. And I mean, she was mad, she was upset, she was
yes,
scared, she was crying, she was shooting,
yes,
she was. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better introductory role. I mean, I know 2018 was my actual first movie role, but to come back and be Vanessa with with just the development of that character, it was fun to do. So, and I will say that when you said that there are some throwaway characters usually, and most slasher films, right? Like we see like the person and we like, yeah, we know you got to
yeah,
go, and we don't
exactly.
know much
Yep,
about you because there's no point in developing it because
yep.
you're gonna go.
A
But
lot, a
that's a
lot of writers and
testament, I
directors don't do
believe,
that.
right? And I believe that's a testament to David Gordon Green, Scott Teems, and Danny McBride, the writers of Halloween Kills, and even
Hmm.
uh, when they did 2018, Fradley was with them. So that was even good. Like they work together a lot, so they know what each other needs, and they know they're very big on character development. You can tell in their scripts because there's a lot of things that were taken out of the movie, which I'm sure they had to be for time, that were really developing a backstory on the characters. And I know
Yeah. Hmm.
there's a little frustration with that because you didn't hear it about Marion and Lindsay and them, but it was actually in there. So hopefully that they'll show some of that later,
Oh,
like
was it
like what
really?
they had.
There's more to.
There was
Oh,
like a little.
wow.
There was like a little. Yeah, it was more like little more. Like it gave you more than they just come there every year and why they come there every year. It was like a little, it was,
Oh,
a little
okay.
banter, little stuff back and forth. But hopefully they'll put that in. But I say that to say that I know that it seems like there's chunks in the movie and things that seem like they have an explanation or didn't have an explanation. It's actually it was in the script and it was there and things change. When it gets moved into different hands and I guess I'm not my pay grade is not up there, but that's how that's what I think. So yeah, the characters they definitely come from the writers, and that's just how good they are. So yeah, so they wrote Vanessa, and I just brought her to life. That's all I did.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because you you were spot on with saying that because your character, given the scenes that Vanessa has in Halloween Kills, I feel like you do get to display a lot. You get to, and I said this, like, listen, I did not, I have to admit, don't be mad at me. I did not go to the theater because I was like, wait, I got Peacock. I want to watch it at home. I want to have my drinks, my snacks, whatever I need because I don't want anybody to ruin this theater experience for me. We from Philly where you go to the Pearl or the Bridge or whatever, people will fuck up your theater experience. I've had it happen. And I feel like I wanted to watch it at home, but when I watched it, first of all, after the opening credit sequence, it opens with your character and Michael Smallwood's character Marcus in the bar, and I feel like when I watched it, I was like, she's adding like I felt like you were adding. Now this could just be me. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you were adding like little Phillyisms to the role because there's a moment where there's a moment where you know Tommy and Lindsay and Marion are behind y'all and they're like slamming shit down. They're pouring champagne and beer, and you kind of look back like, and then you look at Marcus. You look at Michael Smallwood's character. You're
Like
looking
what the
like,
fuck?
but you're telling him like, yo, like you gonna do something? Like you're looking at him like the concerned wife, and he's just like, hey, hey,
Right.
hey. And when he calms everybody down, you're not even impressed by it. You're not paying attention. You're just sitting there with your chin and with your hand in your chin. And he's like, "Listen, I'm gonna go get some drinks." You relax, and you're like, "Okay." And it's like, "Listen, all right, but don't be surprised if I fuck somebody up by the time you get back here." And I'm like, and I'm telling myself, I'm like, "Listen, that is Philly all day." Like, I swear to God, there are certain facial expressions and mannerisms, even the smallest things. I don't know if I'm just reading into this. And like I said, I'm not blowing smoke. When y'all are leaving out, when y'all get the news report and when y'all are walking to the car and you're just like, baby, we got to go. And he's like, yo, I left my stethoscope, and he throws you the keys and you're just like, "Tch," like you suck your teeth and catch the keys in the air. I'm just like, yo, like that's how, like, if you're not from Philly, you don't understand how Philly women, like how their demeanor is. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right. Can you
when
please say that? Because
yes,
that is
and
so
then
true.
when you're telling him, you're pushing him like, baby, like Michael Myers in the car, go look, and he's like, hell no, and then you push him one more time, like, what's wrong with you? And then you go running back towards
Right.
the bar. I'm just like, yo, she is injecting Phillyisms into this role. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I was ready to argue anybody and their mom down. I'm like, listen, that girl is not only an actress, but she's from Philly, and she's injecting it into this role. I don't care what nobody say. And I feel like
Well,
it's at like that role. I'm glad you got to have so many like layers in the role that they gave you because
mhm.
we do see you scared, we do see you tough, we see you badass up until the last moments, which we will get
Mhm.
into. um
We'll talk about it.
yeah, but really quickly, if we can jump back really quickly to Halloween 2018,
Mhm.
how did you know that you landed that role? Like, how did you find out that you landed one of the biggest cameos in Halloween 2018?
Well, it was a while after I did the audition and I had a call back and I had to go to Charleston. So it's not an extra role. And people say it was an extra because it was small,
Uh-huh.
but it was what we call like a day player role or a walk on role, meaning
Right.
that we had booked the role, we auditioned for the role, we booked the role, um, and so we're not extras. We are part of the cast. Like that's why you see our names in at the end at the credits.
Mm-hmm.
So people kept saying when it came later that I was an extra. We weren't extras. We were actually booked for the role. So and we worked hard to get those roles.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
good, but you know what? It's good to take pride in that. You take pride in that. Like, listen, we ain't no fucking extras. Like, yo, we not just
right,
no throw.
because I just
Yeah, we
told
not
you
no
how my
throwaway.
self-taste was. Right, my self-taste was horrible
Right.
back in the day. So to get it to the point where I could book Halloween.
Right, yeah,
If
we
I
not
could
no
book
throwaway
Halloween with my
characters out
self-taste the
here.
way they get right. Yeah, so
You
that was
know?
huge for me. So I got the call in December. I think it was about December the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
My agent had called me, and I did the call back on October the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a long time in between then where I didn't hear anything. But for some reason, like I stayed up the night before I got the call. Like I stayed up that night, which I barely sleep anyway, but I stayed up that night. And I remember trying to research it to see what happened. Because by this time, when I first auditioned, I didn't know it was Halloween. But by this time,
wow.
I knew it was Halloween. I didn't know they had a different name for it. It was like a code name. How like we had
right. No, they do that. They've done that for
Mhm.
like the Halloween movies and the Friday the 13th movies over the years because they don't want to really blow up the spot on the production and stuff
Right.
like that. So yeah,
Exactly.
understood.
Yep. So I had no idea when I auditioned, which was good for me because I probably would have been hella nervous. So and probably would not have done that well. So yeah. So to when I booked it, I just remember like falling down on the floor and just crying, like just crying. My agent had left me a message because I saw her number, but it wasn't her main number, so I missed it. And then I listened to her message before I called her back, and she was telling me that I booked it, and I just started crying like right there, like I couldn't believe that I booked it, and I felt something the night before, like I really was like researching the hell out of Halloween. Like I wanted to see where they were filming it at, who was part of it, this and that. Did they start filming yet? And they had pushed back production. So when I saw that, I told my husband, I woke him up literally out of his sleep and said, "Babe, I still have a chance." I said, "Babe, I still have a chance. They pushed back production. They haven't started filming yet because they told me when I auditioned in October that it was going to be filming in the fall, which believed that it was supposed to film in the fall, but then they wound up pushing it out to January.
Right.
So when December hit, I was like, they still haven't filmed anything yet, so it's a possibility. Because remember, I was telling you that you don't know until you see it that someone else booked it. You just don't hear anything.
Yeah, you'll just see the movie happen.
So I thought someone else had booked it, right? So I thought someone else had booked it, but they didn't. I didn't audition for that role either. I auditioned for a police officer. I didn't audition for the sexy nurse or the wife or whatever. It was the wife for the audition. The initial audition, that part was wife, and I auditioned for police officer, something totally different. When it was time to go for the callback, I was dressed as police officer. And the callback, when I got there, the casting director said, "No, we want you to audition for wife."
Oh.
So now I'm dressed like a boy because I have my hair like in a bun, a wife beater. Look like almost like a uniform. Like I'm in Charleston. I'm not even where I'm from, so I only packed some sweatpants and a tee for the day before, and the wife beater and the whole get up for the audition. So when they said wife, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I look like I got on work boots, and so I had to tie the lady. It was a lady that was out in the front that signed me, and she pulled down my shirt. We unbuttoned my shirt, and then we tied it to make it look feminine. And I remember after I did the audition, I don't know who it was. Was it David? Someone asked me because everyone was in the room. Everyone was in the room. Someone asked me, would I be okay with changing my hair? And at the time, I had a wig. It was like a ponytail, but it was a wig. Like a wig was like a half wig and a ponytail. And they said, "Do you mind changing your hair?" I was like, "Man, this is a wig. Like, I snatch this off right now. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you need? Like, because
they didn't understand.
That's who's going to make your decision.
Yeah, they didn't understand.
I'll go bald head. Like, you need me bald headed, I'll do it. Like, and so yeah, and then I got the call on December the 5th, and the rest is history. They gave me that part. And then at that time it was called flapper or something like that. It was like we were supposed to be like dressed in costume still, but like going to like a Warren 20s party or something like that. So it would have been like something like that. But then when did I have? I think when they gave me the actual script, it changed to sexy nurse. And I was like, who, me? Like,
right.
How can I pull this off? I can say my line, but how can I pull off the sexy part? Because that was not in my whole, you know how you said Philly women are. Like, I'm all about being tough. And,
and yeah, that's where we come from. We have no choice.
Chilling. Like,
yeah.
Sexy was not part of my makeup at the time that I knew of. So I was like, how do I do that? Like, you know, and all my Halloween costumes have always been covered up. So I've never had a butt cheek out or nothing like that. So it's like, what kind of outfit is this? And then when they showed me the outfit when I came to shoot, like right before when I came to Charleston at the time, and I saw the outfit, I was like, whew, like y'all want me to get into that? Like,
yeah.
And it was January.
You was cold as fuck out there. Mm-hmm. You like, listen.
The air going all through every hole of every piece of that fishnet right there. It was red fishnet. They had heating. They put little heating pads all over my body, like on my back side, on my front side, on my inside, and my outside. They were trying to put heating pads everywhere because I was so cold. I was so cold in that little outfit, and then I had to walk. And you know when you walk, you get a nice little breeze.
Yeah.
So I'm walking, and I have the breeze hit me. I'm just like, every time we would get back in the car, my teeth would shatter. Like, I mean, they would chatter like this, like, that's how cold I was. Like, and we would hear it in the mic, so the sound guy probably heard my teeth the whole time. But yeah, that's how cold I was.
Wait, so you said every time y'all got back in the car. So let me ask, how many takes did it take for y'all to get that shot? Because that is up until, you know, when Michael Myers pops up and bumps into the kids on the street, it's a one take shot when he's walking into the backyard of the woman that looks like Mrs. Elrod. And then when he grabs the hammer, the camera cuts. And then from that moment on, when he walks into that woman's backyard and into her crib, it's a one track shot up until he stabs that woman in the throat. So how many takes did it get y'all to perfect that? Because like I said, you and Michael Smallwood, y'all are a part of one of the best shots in that entire movie. Like, that tracking shot is amazing, and I was really like, that was one of the things that really drew me to what David Gordon Green brought to Halloween 2018, was the fact that he's not just directing a slasher movie. Like, he's trying to bring some type of art to it. You know what I'm saying? He's not just, putting a camera in front of a slasher and he's slaughtering teens and people that are fucking and all types of stuff all over the place. He's doing like these really classic artistic shots that belong in a Halloween franchise. So like, do you remember how many times it took for y'all to, for Michael Myers to walk up and for you to come around the side of the car, the passenger side door, and Michael Smallwood to come to the front, and you stare at Michael Myers for that brief moment? Like, was it a lot of takes, or what? Like, how did that work? All right, people. So we had some technical difficulties, but we're back. We are back. So because I forgot, I'm a terrible interviewer and I forgot the last fucking question. So let me ask you, what was your reaction with the experience you had being on Halloween 2018? What was your reaction to being brought back for Halloween Kills? Like, getting that call back. Was it a callback? Was it like somebody told you personally? How did that go? Like, what was your reaction to getting called back? And it's kind of a two-parter. And on top of your reaction to getting called back for the sequel, how did you react to reading in the script what Vanessa's outcome was going to be?
Her outcome, what she was going to be. Like, I was happy to see what she was going to be. I wasn't even thinking about the outcome at the time. I was like, I'm just happy to be back. Thank you, Lord. Like, yeah. So whatever she did, I was okay with it. Like, I don't care. But I got the information from David Gordon Green himself.
Oh wow, that's major.
Right, he called.
That is awesome.
It really was. Like, he told me face to face. Like, he had booked me for Righteous Gemstones, his HBO show.
Oh my God, that was because I know I think I said that during the intro when I was telling everybody the shows you've been in. I would hope I said that because I definitely wrote it down. I did not know that was David Gordon Green. No, I didn't say that. I had it written down because you played a secretary and that was 2019, right?
That was in 2019.
You know what, people? Don't judge me. Y'all know I fuck up on this show, but no, I did not know that was David Gordon Green's show. Wow, I didn't know that. But no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
David Gordon Green, and Danny McBride. With Danny McBride, David Gordon Green is there. Danny McBride is more of the show lead on it, but like David directs, like they've done this whole time with Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals and stuff like that. So yeah, they work together all the time. They work great together. So yeah, it's them, and Jody Hill is the other director. So he directs half a season and David does half, I believe. But so for season 1, they called me in for the role, and David told me, like, right before I was about to go and do my scene, that he was bringing me back for the next Halloween, which I heard rumbles about it being another one because the first one had made so much money. And then he was saying that, that he wanted to bring me back. And I was like, really? You want to bring me back? He said, yeah, you didn't die. And I was like, oh, okay.
Awesome. That is awesome.
And I remember just being so nervous right before I was about to shoot the scene, because I'm shooting the scene with John Goodman at that. So,
oh my God, like the John Goodman?
I'm John Goodman's secretary in those scenes. So yeah.
I need to do my fucking research better. Yeah, I need to do my research better.
I actually come back for season 2 as the same thing as his secretary. My name is Trudy, and I work alongside John Goodman, which is just like.
Hold up, so listen, I should have gave you a way bigger intro. I should have had like streamers and like blowhorns and toot toots and stuff and balloons and shit like that, because it's like you have
marching bands.
Yeah, like no, legit. Like I swear to God, I'm not blowing smoke. You have worked alongside. This is coming from somebody like, I'm not an actor. I don't really have aspirations to be an actor. I'm a writer. I do my podcast and stuff like that. But it's like. To work alongside, you have worked alongside heavyweights, and that's a big deal. I feel like people really take for granted, like cinematically, I feel like people take for granted how they've acted alongside these people who might help give them inspiration or boost their career and stuff like that. Like, not boost their career, but like I said, give them inspiration. It's like, if I was to act along John Goodman, it's like I would probably watch him and be like, all right, I need to apply some of that to my shit, but I don't know if I can. But I'm just going to take the notes. Right? Yeah, because John Goodman's been in everything.
So natural.
Yeah,
but John. I will tell you what I took away from John Goodman. Okay. I will tell you that.
Shoot,
because
go ahead.
Everyone that I meet or interact with, I do try to take something away from them. You learn from everyone that you interact with.
It's a good segue into my next question, but go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead, finish.
So with John Goodman, what I saw with him, I remember when I first met him, and I came in the holding area with him. So they have us in the holding area. Hair and makeup would come to us or whatever if we need it before we go right on set.
Right.
And I introduced myself to him, told him it was an honor, and he asked me, did I need anything? Did I need anything? And I'm like, what? I should be asking you if
it's you like, yeah, you John right? Goodman. Do you need anything, bro?
Right, you're John Goodman. And he was like so nice to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was very, very nice, even though he's so high on the call sheet. Like, that's how you really, like, it's like a hierarchy. So the call sheet matters. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, anyone up in those top single digit numbers is huge in the production.
Right.
And he's up there. And I was down here. So the least you are, you go down to the bottom. So I had a higher number than him, of course. So the higher higher number should be asking the lower number, do you need anything? Not the lower number asking the higher number, do you need something? So that was like, it kind of threw me off guard, but it made me happy and more comfortable, actually, to work with him. And then when I came back for season 2, he was so gracious. Like, he remembered me from season 1. He was very nice to me. And not only me, what I took from him, too, that he was nice to everyone around him. Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't been around that many celebrities where I can give you like a horror story of someone who treated someone bad. I haven't been there like that. But I will say I was so happy to see, because you know how when you see celebrities on TV and you see them in movies and you have an idea of how you think they are in your mind?
Absolutely.
Like, you might even have a best friend in your head. Like, somebody Stevenson is like my best friend in my head. Like,
listen,
you have
Listen,
Issa Rae is my best friend in my head.
You ain't saying nothing to me. In a past life, either Denzel or Dwayne Johnson were my father. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there you go.
Either one of them two.
Right.
So no, I understand.
Even for the ones who are not your best friend, you still think like, hey, they'd probably be cool to hang out with. Like, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, you could, just by looking at their body of work, right? You just think that automatically. So.
Yep.
I was glad to see that he was so cool and down to earth, and not just cool to me, because even though I'm lower than him on a call sheet, I'm still a peer, right? I'm still an actor. So sometimes actors will act cool with actors and then treat everyone else on set like crap.
True.
Which he didn't do, which I was happy to see, because I don't do. And it was good to see that when I get to that point, hopefully one day, if I ever get to that point where I've had so many credits under my belt, it won't change me. I'll still treat people with respect. And that's what I got from him, because he has been in the business for a long time, and he's been in some great work, you know, and he's been on SNL too. But yeah, he's been on some great things. So it's just like, to see him treat everyone respectfully, it's like, yeah, like this is for me, because I don't want to change. Like, I don't want to change who CarMela is. I bring CarMela in the room for everything that I do. So when you say that Vanessa had a little bit of Philly in her, that's because it's a little bit of CarMela in her.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Like, because I'm still doing it. It's still me. So you still see some of me in that, and I hope that the good parts about me shine, so that. And I feel like it's happened, because I know we'll get into it a little bit later about Vanessa, like people, like, you know, our people like hating Vanessa or getting mad at Vanessa for that scene. So we'll talk about that. So it's like,
yes, we will. We'll get there. We'll get there.
As an actress, I feel like I must have done a great job for them to be so passionate about Vanessa.
Absolutely.
If CarMela didn't do a good job acting as Vanessa, and if they didn't do a good job, David Gordon Green, Scott Teems, and Danny McBride is writing her character, then people wouldn't have anything to talk about. Like you said, it would have been a throwaway character, and that just would have been it. I feel like Vanessa had layers, and the fact that she has a discussion going is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Listen, she not only does she have a discussion going, but like you said, there are people that are. Now, don't make no mistake, and I'm not just saying this because I'm interviewing you right now, but I'm just saying, listen, we'll get there. I have my feelings about the character, but overall, I'm glad that your character came back. I'm glad that character had the arc that it did, as well as your co-star, Michael Smallwood, and I'm glad that you acted alongside the actors that you did. But for you to share that story about John Goodman and apply that to, you know, who you are, your style of acting, and just your career overall, where you say, I want to be CarMela. I don't want people to stray away from that. You want to inject not just a certain character element, but you want to inject CarMela into the role so that people know you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to stray too far from the role where people are like, oh, well, I don't even know who she, you know, even in roles like, you know, I mean, well, it's, I don't know if I can use this comparison or not, but I'm thinking of something like Heath Ledger with the Joker. I'm just going out on a limb here. You can kind of see, Heath Ledger in there. You can see what he applied to that role. And I say that to say this, like, so as your career progresses, no matter what role you play, no matter what genre, what style of filmmaking it is, I feel like you're always going to want to apply that CarMela McNeal to the role, man. And that is, I feel like that's amazing because a lot of actors and actresses, they lose themselves in this shit. You know, they lose themselves in this shit and they start getting really starstruck and they start being around people. They start changing who they are. But I feel like the fact that you put it out there, like, listen, I don't want to be anybody but who I am, like, for the most part. You know, you'll be the character on paper, but you're going to add your own type of elements to it. And I feel like that's the best type of acting where you don't just give people what they give you on paper. You got to put some flair to it to make, you know, to make yourself stand out and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons I feel like the character of Vanessa, regardless of her fate, is the reason why the character of Vanessa is going to stick out. So with that being said, how was it being back for a Halloween movie, Halloween Kills, and acting alongside people like Michael Smallwood, and mainly, not mainly to, I'm not saying that to take anything away from Michael Smallwood because I enjoyed him a hell of a lot in this movie, but you know, to act alongside people who have been a part of the Halloween series prior to y'all being in there, like, you know, Nancy Stevens, she's been in fucking 3 Halloween movies before. She's been killed twice. Spoiler alert, listeners. But you know, to be alongside Kyle Richards and, you know, Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Longstreet, what was that like? You know, filming alongside them, and also this is also a two-parter. What was it like filming that? You can answer this afterwards. What was it like filming that park sequence? That park sequence with those characters I just mentioned. You know,
Well,
yeah, we got to get there. I didn't want to do it. We got to get there. Spoiler alert,
all right.
people.
Well,
Things happen.
I will say, I will say the gravitas of it all in the Halloween world hit me.
You gotta use them fancy words. You gotta use them fancies.
As far, as far as being with Kyle, Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Longstreet, and the great Nancy Stevens. So when I first read the script, like I told you, I didn't care what I was doing. Like I was just happy to be back. Like I was actually pitching when people were saying I was Julian's mom. I was like, well, you know, they saying I'm Julian's mom just to give him an idea to put me in something, like whatever. Like I don't know what you have in mind.
I thought you were. I swear to God, I thought that you were either Julian's mom or Sheriff Barker's daughter. You know, the guy that the black sheriff with the big ass hat. I thought that you were related. Yeah, but the fact that y'all weren't and y'all stood alone, I think that's hell of a lot better. But no, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it was way better. It was way better. Was just the brilliance of David. So, when I first read the script, and I'm trying to think, I think they said maybe that they were looking at Anthony Michael Hall at the time. Like there was a bunch of things that they were bringing people back. So this is like when they said that Kills was coming out. They had already introduced Kills and Ends. And then they were starting the casting, so you would see like every now and then, like Robert Longstreet, like he was up on Instagram saying that he was going to be in it, blah blah blah. So when I finally got the script, because I got the script like right before I was going to go film, so I didn't have it for a long time. Like Michael Smallwood had his for a long time. I didn't have mine for a long time. I got it the weekend before we were filming. So I'm finding all this out almost in real time. So I'm looking at the script and I'm reading, and like you said, as soon as the credits go. Like it's us. It's like this, we're the first ones on the scene. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy already. So it's like it was just mind blowing. Then it's like Lindsay, Tommy, and Marion come in, and I'm like, what? Like I'm in the scene with them. Like I actually get to meet them. Like, and that still didn't dawn on me either. Like I'm just like, okay, we're in a scene together. But do we actually interact together? So I'm still reading. I'm like, oh, wow, we actually interact together.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, I'm with them. Oh, we're with them. Like,
yeah, a lot, yeah. And I was surprised at that, too, because you got new characters interacting with these OG characters. And I love that we went from that opening sequence, and then it, it says directed by David Gordon Green, and then it just says, Haddonfield, 2018, and then it's right outside a mixed bar, and we just jackhammer right into you and Michael Smallwood's character Marcus, and then right behind y'all are these OG characters. I was like, yo, that's amazing, because we've got the clash of new school characters and old school in a Halloween sequel. Like, it doesn't get any better. So I was so like happy about that. But please continue the story. Right. Please continue the story, please.
So when I got to set, I think I was so nervous that I didn't even think about like I said, the gravity of it, the fact that I was in the scene with them. I was nervous about Kyle because I'm a Housewife fan, so I was really nervous about her.
That's all. I mean, I don't watch a lot of it, but I knew she was in there, and I was like, wait, like, that's Lindsay Wallace from Halloween, and I had to I had to really do my research, and I was like, oh shit, like that's Kyle Richards, like all grown up from Halloween. But yeah, I was never like a.
Yeah, I think that with Kyle, it wasn't because I'm such a fan of the Housewives, really. Mm-hmm. They had a part to do with it, but also when you watch reality shows, it's presented as that's who they are. This is reality. They're not an actress. They're not whatever. So I knew that Anthony Michael Hall was an actor. I knew that Robert Longstreet was an actor and Nancy Stevens. But, I mean, even though Kyle was an actor, I knew a lot about her life from watching the reality show. Mm-hmm. So I had to try to put that in a compartment and not judge her or not think I know her and didn't know her but it was just hard because like I'm literally watching her life, and then now I'm with her and this is part of her life. So it was like weird to me. That's why it was hard for me to really like get rid of my nerves for Kyle. I think that's what it was, because she, I almost felt like I knew too much about her leading up to from what she showed us on the Beverly Hills Housewives. That's what I felt like I knew a little too much, So I was nervous about that. But I remember the second time that it really hit me, and the second and last time was, and it's funny because they captured the moment. It's in that picture that we have where Tommy goes to the car with the bat, and then we're all standing there.
Oh yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And he gives me the head nod or whatever, mm-hmm. and I go like this, like, yeah, go ahead. So we shot that on a Friday night, and it was like really late. We kept doing it over and over again. I think it was like our first scene that we shot. It's not the first scene, but it was like the first night, kind of.
That was a great funny ass scene, by the way, though.
No, okay. So, I remember standing there. When I come out the bar, it was the scene when I come out the bar, and then Michael Smallwood is already there because he was watching the car, and then when I come out, it's Tommy and everybody else, and then there's the part where it's just Michael Smallwood, myself, Kyle Richards, and Nancy Stevens, and we're all standing there watching Tommy, and we're on the front row, and then everyone else is behind us. And I remember, like, maybe on the fifth or sixth take or something like that, we were standing there, and Kyle was holding on to my hand, and I was holding on to Michael Smallwood, and Nancy was holding on to Kyle, and I just looked and was like, this is freaking surreal. Like,
I love it.
Only, like, it's not like Kyle and Nancy here, and then
and
Michael back here.
Y'all were all together.
We were here. Right. So to me, it was like, wow.
Yep. UNITY. Wow. That's what it was.
I was like, we are together. And then that was even more, I think that was more important to me even than going to the car and running back out the car by myself. That was the whole thing by myself. But when I stood there with them, that was when I knew, like, wow, like, this is really, like, I'm in this.
Yeah, that's when it hit you. That camaraderie. That's why I said it was great to see a new era of Halloween characters with an older era of Halloween characters like the OGs, and they were all characters that whether people love them or hate them, those are all characters that are memorable in the movie. You know what I'm saying? And I really love that. I love that you explained how y'all all locked together in that moment. Like, it was kind of like it's morphin' time type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all really, y'all really formed. Y'all formed like Ultron. That is amazing. on set, like that is so crazy. I feel like that is those moments are like the most pure moments on a set that you don't really, I feel like maybe people feel it, but you look back on it and it's like, damn, like I didn't think it was going to be that, because that is the picture on Instagram that is an Instagram favorite with you guys. Like there's a
I
lot of
love that
people,
picture.
yeah, there's a lot of people that tag you guys to that picture on Instagram, and I see it. It's all of y'all just arms interlocked, hands interlocked, scared as fuck, you know what I'm saying, while Tommy's walking up to that car. And that is, I feel like that is that's like that's filmmaking for me, man. Like just the experience, like just to be around people and form that bond and stuff like that. Like it's way more than just, you know, the kills and the special effects and all that type of stuff. All that stuff is good, but to just have that type of you know, that type of bond on set is really great. And to piggyback on that, which is going into the park sequence, I have to ask you, and you can stop me if I'm out of line here, but I have to ask this question. Are you, I don't know, are you like a big gun enthusiast? Because the way you shot that fucking Desert Eagle, there's no recoil, there's no kickback. You're shooting that shit like, you remember when you were in the car and he's like, "Yeah, I've never fired a gun before," and you're like, "Yeah, so why'd they even give you a gun? Here, give me that. I shot this shit before. I got it." And when I watched it, I was like, "Yeah, she shot this shit before clearly, because." There's no like, if I would have shot that gun, that's a hand cannon. If I would have shot that, I probably would have like the backfire of the gun probably would have broke my nose as soon as it flew back into my face, type of thing. But you're shooting it.
Well,
I don't know how long you
I actually
trained,
shot
but
that actual gun. Actually shot that gun at the range.
oh,
So when I first got
good
there,
lord.
they took Nancy. Nancy and I went to the range together. So I met Nancy first, as far as who I was acting with in
Oh
those
wow,
scenes. And so Nancy and I are friends to this day because we
that's
met
awesome.
first and we just hung out. Yeah, so that's my buddy. So we went to the range together. So the actual gun that I shot in the movie is the gun that I used at the range, but I used it with real bullets, and it was really
okay. So
you know. And then on sets, it was just safety. It was blanks, and we went through the whole safety protocols. It was not live.
good,
So
great.
and I don't know we're about to get on into this, but this transitions into this because when people say that I'm a bad shot, first of all, I get offended by that. CarMela does because CarMela. Okay.
Wait, I wasn't going. First of all, I wasn't going to take it there, but since you brought it up,
I'm going to bring it up. You don't have to. I'm going to because it needs to be addressed. Let's address this head on right now.
I had to take my glasses off for that shit. Oh.
I know that there's some discussions.
Yo, listen. I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was gonna say something else, but I wasn't gonna say anything about what you did or did not hit. I was gonna say something else, but I was not gonna bring that up for the record. You brought that up.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna address it.
Please address it.
Put it down on this table.
Address it for the people. Yes.
Box, and we're gonna leave it right there. Okay. So here's the thing.
Yes. Okay.
It is in the script that Vanessa does not kill Michael in the beginning of the movie or mid movie or first act of the movie, because then you wouldn't have a second or third act. Let's just put that out there right there. That's just logic, right? Okay, so if I killed them, then Halloween is the end, right? And then that's it, right? Okay, so that's number one. That's just logic. All right. Number two is it was written that way. So prior to Vanessa shooting the gun and coming back, every bullet that was shot was not a real bullet, so it was on the glass so that the glass can shatter at the times when I'm supposed to be shooting at it. So I'm holding the gun, but I'm not actually shooting at the, it's popping itself. And I just have the gun in that direction.
Yeah.
With the blanks. Blanks, people. They're not real guns. So
yes,
really
yes,
shooting.
people. We know what's going on. So they are blanks, and we don't need anybody calling in or emailing and DMing and stuff like that. You heard what she said.
They are blanks. Safety protocols were taken.
Yes.
All safety precautions were taken.
Yes. Let the people know.
Yes, but yeah. So it wasn't actually me shooting. CarMela knows how to shoot. Vanessa was scared in a situation. I'm not saying Vanessa doesn't know how to shoot. You saw the way Vanessa held that gun.
Right, yeah. You
The
held that.
fact
You
is,
held that
it
shit
was a
like
high
you was a pro.
intensity situation. It was a high intensity situation. The woman ran away. She thought about it. She came back, and she got in. It's not her fault that the man got a good kick on the door. Okay, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. Leave her alone and stop calling her out her name.
Listen,
Okay, her name is Vanessa,
listen.
not female dog. Stop calling her that.
I would listen. This all right.
And we,
If I could put it out
oh,
there, this
you know our people
I know, and I know. Listen,
are
listen,
rude.
especially because I saw the movie the day it came out, the morning it came out, and I praised the fuck out of it. I did a review that was like an hour and some change long. I did my commentary that following, I think, Sunday or Monday evening, and a lot of people were coming for me like, oh, this movie had this problem and that problem. I said, man, fuck what y'all are talking about. But one of the things that they did talk about, they were like, well, the characters did dumb shit. And I'm like, well, first of all, I had to be realistic. I said, well, listen, if you pick apart Halloween Kills and look at all the dumb shit that characters do, or the shit that maybe somebody in our shoes would not have done, you have to really, you can't be selective. You have to pick apart all the rest of the Halloweens, all the Friday the 13th, all the Nightmare on Elm Street, all the fucking slasher movies, because you can't sit up there and pick apart Halloween Kills. Oh, these people did dumb shit, this, that, and the other, and then praise these other fucking movies that came out in the 80s and decades after that have the same type of characters. You can't just, first of all, like you said, if Vanessa would have landed them shots, Michael Myers' head, like, that's a Desert Eagle. Michael Myers' head, like, a little bit of half of that shit would have been blown off, you know? And it's like, it happened for a reason. Now, the way it happened, I'm not gonna lie. When that scene happened, I did wonder, because first of all, it was pandemonium. Y'all were trying to get out the car. Marion locked the door, and I get it. I understood, because she's waving the gun around, and y'all are like, wait, move. Like, don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't shoot me. So y'all are nervous that she's going to shoot anything moving. Michael's on top of the car, and then I remember Michael Smallwood's character, Marcus is like, get out the fucking car. I love you, baby, and all this other stuff. And then you fall out of the car with the gun, and you disappear. But I will say this.
No, they're fussing me out about that too. Like, where did I go?
That's what I said. I was like, where the fuck? I said, did she haul ass up the block? And then, like, she did, like, the Looney Tunes scurry and was like, wait. Is my husband, is he all right? And then you came back and he was already dead. So you came back and started shooting. But I'm like, you know what? I'll let that slide, because there was shit happening during. So who knows? I look at it like this. People won't, realistically speaking, we won't know how we react in those situations until we're in those situations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, at least she came back. And then when I saw you, like, firing the gun off, I started cheering. Like, I'm like, yeah, like, let's go. But then, Michael, when you fired that last shot, Michael kind of like tilts his head and looks at you like, yo, like, are you serious? And you get up close. And when he kicks the door, it's almost like a 3 or 4 shot deal. They show him kick the door. They show the door hit the gun. They show the gun fly backwards, and then they show it go off. And I'm just like I kind of was like, oh, like, I didn't have time to react. I was like, oh. And then after that, I just, like, had my jaw dropped. I'm like, wait. But then I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you right now on this show. I told you, or I'm telling you. I feel like I told myself, I was like, wait. Is this a Halloween H2O situation where L Cool J got shot but he got grazed? Because I was waiting for you to get up. I'm not going to lie to you. I was waiting for you to get up and be like, oh my God, like, he grazed the shit out of the side of my head. But I'm like, no. When Lindsay hit him with the bag of bricks, your body is just like there, like lifeless. And I'm like, when Lindsay, after the scene where Lindsay, is hiding in the forest and Michael goes off, I'm like, when it transitioned to another scene, I'm like, wait. Like, Vanessa's really fucking dead. Like, I'm thinking you were going to get up at some point. Like, no, I just got grazed. I'm gonna be in Halloween Ends. It's all good. But I'm just like, damn. Like, I was hoping for the best. But it was
they're gonna roll Vanessa past on the stretcher.
but nonetheless.
Like, we gotta hurry up and get into the hospital.
Yeah, and I was like, but then I remember the second time I watched it. I think I watched it once or twice before I did my review. And I think the second time I watched it, I was like, no, she shot herself in the face. And I was like, damn, but I'm like, I would rather go out, like, fighting for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go out running and crying and screaming. You went out like a bandit. Like, really, you had your heart set on blowing his head off, and you didn't stop and you got up close and tried to shoot with one arm that last time until he kicked
If
that
you look
door.
at the movie, each shot that she did was still in his direction. Like there's the front window on the driver's side. There's the driver's side window she shot out. She did shoot, like she was shooting at him, but like I said, if you think about it in a situation, like she is in a high risk situation. She's going up against Michael Myers. And I will say this too. He did get shot after that. He got shot before that. Freaking Loomis shot him in
He
78.
did.
And he still was okay. So what was my little bullets going to do? Even if it was a Desert Eagle, it's Michael Myers.
And he got shot.
What was Vanessa going to do?
He got in 2018. He got shot in the shoulder when Jamie Lee Curtis shot him in the shoulder.
Right.
When he was walking through the backyards, and then Judy Greer shot him in the face at the end. That's why he's got that nick in his mask. But if you look at it,
so what was Vanessa's shots going to do?
Yeah, if you look at it, Michael Myers he's been shot in probably every single Halloween movie except for H2O and Resurrection. And I don't count
Resurrection. We're not going to talk about 2 when he was on fire.
Yeah, he was on fire walking to after he got shot in his eyes. He got shot in his eyes.
Like, and that's the beauty of it though, because would you explain it to the fans? That's the thing, and it because slasher films are meant to be. Chucky is a doll killing people. Let's just peel it back. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Chucky is a doll killing grown folks.
Adults, kids.
It's entertainment, right? It's entertainment. This is all fun. Like slasher films were made for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, they were made for you to have. It's not to make you think. It's not to make you be woke. It's not to. That's not the goal of it. It has evolved into that with some films now, but the goal is to entertain. Like so. When I believe, I'm not the writer, but I believe when they sat down together, they came up with a goal. Like, listen, this is our middle of a trilogy. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to name it Kills. We're going to live up to Kills. We're going to have Kills. And it's going to be fun. To have it, and I say this now because I've made the movie, so I kind of understand the movie experience now as far as on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So with the car, there's so many pieces. We practiced that scene for a long time. Like there's so many elements to it. Think about it. Each one of us has our own elements and combined together at the same time. So like you have us in the car, you have Kyle over there with the kids. So that's a whole section. You got us in the car. You got the things that was going on with Marion in the gun. You have Marcus trying to protect both of us, and
it's a lot of shit going on.
Me. Right, it's a
lot of shit going on at once, right?
So at some point in time, we have to break that down, because if not, how would you see what's going on with Marion? You wouldn't see what was going on with him. You wouldn't know what was going on with me, because it would be so much going on. Then it would be too much. So it was all performed in a way that we practiced it, which was meant to happen that way in order to be filmed. Put it that way.
Right.
So
and
when she went away, I didn't make a backstory about where she went. So you have to ask David Gordon Green to know where she went. But I will tell you this: the difference between Vanessa and CarMela is that CarMela would have never been in that car.
Okay? Right. And that's what I be. You know what? When I do like my commentaries and stuff, I tell people it's like, listen, there are certain situations I would be in and certain situations I would not be in. You know, me personally, I wouldn't have been in that car. I'd have been either at the bar, or I felt as though it was a real. I'm sorry, people. Like, listen, I got black listeners, white, Asian, all over the world, but I'm speaking to my black listeners right now, and I'm not trying to be smart. There are certain moments that we relate to, and when y'all were in that bar and they had the news bulletin talking about Michael Myers, and they showed his face blurred out, and they showed that mental patient that escaped. Rest in peace, shout out to that actor. I can't remember his name, but he passed away recently. Big shout out to him. But
Ross Bacon.
Yes, big shout out to him. Rest in peace, shout out to him. I remember y'all were in there. And Marcus starts paying the tab. He's like, oh, no, we got to go. He's like, oh, nice meeting you guys, but we got to go. I said, yes. I said, yep, y'all got to get the fuck up out of there. And that is it. We going to go home, and we going to figure out what's what. After that, we are not spending no more time in this bar with these people who are affiliated with Michael Myers. We wouldn't even be in that car. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Listen, and people need that. People need that. And I feel like I'm glad you said that about like Child's Play and stuff like that, because there was a time where horror movies, slashers in particular, they thrived off of people doing dumbass shit, characters making dumbass decisions. And that was
Yes.
the reason at some point it got to the point where that was the only thing people went to the movies to see, where you start rooting for the killer to kill these stupid characters making stupid decisions.
Right.
So I feel
Right.
like
Right.
I feel like at this point of slasher movies and just horror filmmaking in general, we really need to appreciate the characters that do shit that is even strategically close to something we would do, because at the end of the day you don't really know how you would react in that situation until it happens.
Don't.
So if you get somebody
You
that
don't.
jumps out the window and crawls away and runs off but comes back after a while bucking shots, then that's cool. Appreciate the fact that that one character didn't stay in the car with the other two to get murdered. Those were great death scenes, by the way. And I just feel like people, people find things to nitpick at. And, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I did in my head. I was like, well, where the fuck did she go? Like, did she see that as soon as she saw Marcus got stabbed, did she start hauling ass down there and then start shooting? Because I felt like I told myself in my head that was your last straw. When you saw your husband get stabbed in the eye, I was like, yeah, that's when she started running and started shooting at the car.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to
But
appreciate.
remember, I couldn't see that. Vanessa couldn't see that. She was out the car already when he got stabbed in the eye.
Yeah.
So when she came back, it's kind of like she thought she was kind of like saving them. She didn't know that they were already dead.
Yeah.
She just saw him in the car and she knew she had to get him. So, I mean, that is part of the story that I came up with myself, because as actors, you have to fill in the blanks. So that's the part that I filled in the blank of. But as far as where she went, it just had to happen that way. Like, it had to happen.
The
order of events had to happen that way.
Yeah, I feel like if people,
no one said anything about Lindsay hitting them with the bag after I was already dead. But everybody would have fussed at me for coming back shooting after they were already dead.
I mean, listen,
dead. Lindsay didn't save me.
Those are the Halloween purists out there. They're like, oh well, Kyle Richards was in the first movie. She was in the first movie, so she gets a pass. That girl's a new character. You know how these purists are out there. Like, listen, I'm a Halloween purist to a certain extent, because I love Halloween 6. I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people did not listen. Don't.
Like Rob Zombie's 2?
Yeah. No, I like both of them, but I like the second one. The second one is in my top 5.
Okay.
But now speaking of which, it's a good segue into my next question, because I'm about to wrap this up. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. But what was your favorite Halloween entry prior to filming this, and maybe after? Like, did it change up afterwards? Did you have a favorite Halloween movie, before you were in the 2018 movie and Halloween Kills and stuff like that?
So 78 is a classic. That's just
always
a staple. That's
always
just going to be in
best slasher movie of all time for me.
You have to have that, right?
Yep.
Best. So then I would say after that, 2 and H2O was like a tie.
Woo!
And I judge that based on, like, if I can watch it all the way through and still, like, be into it.
Woo!
And those two, I'm still into.
Oh my
so
Lord!
H2O, because I feel like H2O just kept the story going.
Yeah.
Before we had 2018, it brought it back to some type of 4 wasn't that bad though, and I like Danielle Harris. For a little girl, she did a great job back then.
Yeah.
She carried that on her shoulders, so she did really good. And even in was 5 was the one when she was mute, right?
Yeah, she was mute, and
she was
mute, and Michael Myers didn't have his mask tucked in throughout the whole movie. His mask was terrible in that, but we're not going to talk about that. I ain't gonna talk about that. Okay. No disrespect to Dominique Othan and Gerard.
We have Christopher Nelson.
Listen.
Thank God we have Christopher Nelson.
Yes, because
I'm not
that mask.
Work. I'm just glad we had him.
Yeah, that mask and those effects he did. I mean, in Halloween 5, I didn't like the Michael Myers mask. It didn't really bother me as a kid, and it doesn't bother me now as much as it bothers other people. But it's not. I feel like somehow it managed to be worse than Halloween 4, and I'm not even bothered by the Halloween 4 mask. I just feel like in 4. Even though that's my 3rd favorite sequel, I feel like the first one is the best one for me. Mm-hmm. The second one is literally the epitome of a direct sequel, because it literally takes place right after. Mm-hmm. Part 4 is my 3rd favorite, but with 5, it's like they managed to make, like, they could have been better than Part 4, but they weren't. And I feel bad. Shout out to KMB. I'm not dissing y'all, but they did a really weird job on that mask. And like you said, shout out Christopher Nelson for crafting oh my god, that burnt mask. First of all, the flashback mask is one thing. That mask was amazing. And the burnt mask, I'm like, how badass is it that Michael Myers was basically like in aluminum foil until the firefighters came and he just popped up with half a burnt mask? I'm like, that's so badass. But
Right.
all right, so you said H2O. I mean, H2O, I feel like H2O is good. I have a lot of gripes with it. I actually did an entire episode as far as why H2O does not get a pass for me, because they committed a lot of sins, but in comparison to what came before it with Halloween 6, I feel like that is a way more grounded script. That's a way more grounded story. They're way more grounded characters in Halloween H2O as opposed to what we got before. But there are just certain things.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, they took it back to the basics, and I understand why Jamie Lee Curtis wanted to do that. Speaking of which, let me segue into this because I don't think I asked you this the entire time. Did you meet Jamie Lee Curtis on set? Yeah,
Not on set, no.
Oh, so did you meet her like like afterwards, like maybe like the press or like a premiere or
at the premiere, yeah, it's definitely at the premiere.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like I was more a lot of scenes we didn't have together. So you
yeah, of course.
I was mainly with the other ones. Like I had just missed her on 2000 on Kills. I had just missed her. She had just rapped, I believe, and it was funny because I was trying to wait for her by the trailers. Because I knew that Nancy and Kyle was going to see her because she had came to set. Her first day was like after we had already been there. We were like near and wrapping up soon, and I knew Nancy and Kyle was going to see her. So I was like, all right, they had us holding back in our trailers. So I was like, all right, if I hold back in the trailer, then I'll see her. Right. And I did something. I forgot where I went. And then when I came back, Kyle and Nancy was like, we was just with Jamie and we were just. So I was like, what? Where did she go?
Oh, y'all couldn't come get me? I would have been pissed.
I was trying to talk with them. Like,
right.
Remember that
yeah.
time? 78 guys? Like,
I would have been pissed. Like, why wouldn't y'all call me and let me know? I would have been pissed.
They were just happy to see her, so I understand that. Then I was just like, I'll see her again, and then I didn't see her anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's still amazing just to overall just be affiliated with those actresses. Not, just Jamie Lee Curtis and, Kyle Richards, Nancy Steven. You, like I said, when you mentioned the John Goodman and, acting alongside him on the David Gordon Green, Danny McBride show, you have acted along some fucking heavyweights. You have been affiliated. Your name.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Look at Anthony Michael Hall. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've watched The Breakfast Club. Like, he is like 80s royalty. Like, when you think about
I feel like he's a part of the Brat Pack. He's a part of the Brat Pack of the 80s.
He is.
Yeah.
He was. Yes.
I mean, I have my opinions on that character. I do. I don't want to get into it. Because I saved that for an entire episode and somebody else's shit, and I don't want to bring it here because this is all about you and we're glorifying you and focusing on Vanessa and CarMela McNeal. But
I will say this: maybe people don't like our characters, but I will tell you that every performance in that movie was done well. Because the fact that you don't like the characters, the fact that you don't agree with something that they did or whatever that's written, and that's fine. But the characters themselves, the actors' portrayals were good because that brings out the passion in you guys.
Right.
I don't mind people being upset about. I mean, I'm playing. Like, I don't mind people being upset. Like I told you when we were having technical difficulties, like stuff like that doesn't matter to me.
Right.
After losing my mom. Excuse me, I'm sorry. After losing my mom, the little stuff doesn't matter. Sorry.
No, it's all right. But I look at it like this. Even the characters that I did not really enjoy as much as I thought I would, I feel like this movie was taken very seriously. And the humor, when it is implied, it works for me. It works really well for me. But for the most part, this is a fucking horror movie that David Gordon Green and Danny McBride and all the rest of you guys really took seriously, and you guys did a hell of a
Very
job.
seriously.
Yeah, you guys did a hell of a job doing it, because I'm telling you, the entire time I watched this movie, I have not gotten chills from a Halloween movie probably since Halloween 6, and that was in 95. Like, I was a kid, but here I am, a grown ass man in my 30s, and watching a Halloween movie where I'm just like, oh my god, like what's going to happen? Like, I was tense. I was tense watching that movie, and I was very I was just very like on guard and stuff like that. So I feel like you guys did a really good job as far as capturing like the seriousness of this movie, the drama of this movie, and things of that nature. But so let me say this: the camera's a little crazy. Are you still there? All right, people. We had more technical difficulties, but we are right back. So, Carmela, you can finish saying your thought right now.
Okay, my thought was that
Mm-hmm.
with everyone taking so seriously the slasher movie, the Halloween Kills movie, I just think that we've been through so much these last couple of years that it's been really hard as far as COVID and everything else, and our lives changing, people losing people. It affected everyone in a different way.
Right.
But I feel like the fact that we are still able to be entertained, and the entertainment is what got us through COVID and everything else, because we were all at home, we watched TV, we binged shows, whatever, and it was all taken for entertainment. And I think that shouldn't stop. Like, we do this as actors, producers, directors, and everyone else because we want to put on a good production for someone to watch and enjoy.
Entertainment.
So it's not gonna please everyone. It's not for everybody, and no movie is, or nothing is for everyone. There's always going to be something. So the fact that people are passionate about it, I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I don't get mad about that. I was playing earlier. I don't like though when they call Vanessa a bitch, because it's like, okay, like why are we calling her
Yeah,
that?
they take it
Like,
too far, and I feel like
yeah, she don't have to be a bitch.
yeah,
No, that's not cool.
that's that self entitled fucking new generation of quote unquote fans. I feel like those people aren't fans, because as fans, we have to know how to detach ourselves from fucking, fantasy and just film in general. We're going into these films to detach ourselves and turn our brains off at least for like an hour or two. And I feel like if people can't sit down and enjoy that shit for what it is, you've got a lot of people like, this movie was so terrible and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, Jason's not anywhere to fuck to be around. Freddy's not anywhere to be around. Be grateful that Michael Myers
Be
is
grateful that you
still
have it, right?
making movies. Be grateful
That's
that
the
the
way. That's
best.
the way I look at it, because like, if we're doing so well, you should be happy that there are people that are glad with it and wanting to see it, because the better that Halloween does, the better the genre does. We get more horror films. Like, we got the Chucky reboot. We got David's doing the Exorcism coming up. We got a whole
Oh,
bunch of stuff that's coming up, and it's because someone had the guts to go ahead and reimagine something that was so classic and just bring it to the new age so that we
yep.
can enjoy it. And that's what it's meant for, enjoyment. So let's
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy it. Like, have your opinions about Vanessa, have your opinions about everyone else and how we were bad shots and all of that. That's fine. That's cool. But I just don't take it too serious where we're arguing in comments, or someone's just being nasty and spiteful, just saying something just because. If you really have passion behind it, because there are people that go to the movies that really get into it. And I've been there, you've been there, we've been very passionate about the things that we're passionate about. But
Absolutely.
I just think everyone just has to be kinder to each other.
Yeah.
If you have an opinion, okay, that's fine. I just because my opinion differs from yours on anything, politics, anything, we shouldn't have to go to the jugular for each other, like
Yep.
to down each other or make each other seem like mine is way better than yours. Like, we are entitled to have an opinion,
Yep.
and you guys' opinion is awesome to me. I just don't like Vanessa being called out her name, and I can definitely separate Vanessa from CarMela, because CarMela is totally different than Vanessa.
Yeah.
CarMela would have never been in a situation, so CarMela would have been like Julian. I would have been like Julian first. So,
Julia made out like a bad.
when I read,
shout out to the actor. What
when
is
I
it?
read Push Martin,
Oh my
If
god.
Carmela would have pushed Marcus into that car and he didn't go, Carmela would have kept going. Like it would have never got to the park scene. I would have never been there.
But
So
I
yeah,
agree. I agree 200% what you said, because something like Halloween 2018, even before Halloween Kills came out, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride set out to make a direct sequel to a classic movie, and they made a ballsy decision. They said, you know what? Fuck all the movies that
yeah,
came after Halloween 1. We're doing a direct sequel to John Carpenter's classic. And it worked. I do have a couple gripes with that movie, but it's not so much that I hate it. I like the movie. I love that movie. But I feel like that movie opened up the door for people to say, oh, there's another, there's actually another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie coming out that takes place after the 1974
mm-hmm,
original. David Gordon Green is doing a direct
mm-hmm.
sequel to The Exorcist. We're getting another Hellraiser movie. Chucky just got a TV series. Scream's got
Got a
another movie coming
Candyman,
out.
another Candyman coming out.
It's like,
Right.
yeah, like I feel like
Like
people.
this is
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
this is your time. Like if you're a horror fan, this is your time. Like you
Absolutely.
don't have time to be upset about this movie because guess why? The next movie is coming and the next movie is coming. Be happy about that. Like so, like just I mean, it could be like I said before, it could be romance comedy. Like it could be that
Mm-hmm.
could be the genre right now that's picking up. You guys are doing really good right now, horror. So don't just I just don't take life too seriously because each day we get to wake up is a privilege. And you
Absolutely.
learn that when you lose someone that is important to you, but not just. I guess I'm an empath because I know I am because I know that I watched the whole time during the pandemic. I was stressed out. Anxiety was crazy. I was watching CNN every day, and
Oh,
so
see,
I
that's that.
remember
No,
watching the
don't do
stories.
that. Do not. That is
All right, but I remember. I
that
know. I
assists
know.
your
I'm
anxiety.
torturing myself.
If you've got
But
anxiety
I
and you
remember
watch
watching.
CNN every day, Jesus Christ, like that's only going to make it
Yeah.
worse.
But watching the stories of real people, I think it helped me to understand that there's more outside of myself.
Right.
Because
Okay.
when we
Yeah.
were in
Okay. That's
those
one way to look
situations,
at
it
it.
was just us. And if it didn't directly affect you by someone getting COVID or getting really sick or almost dying or dying, we kind of like said that's not our problem, and that's not true because it was our problem. These are people who are citizens of the United States who are dying left and right from a
Mm-hmm.
disease that we all could have caught. Like no one was safe at that time. We had no answers. We didn't know what was going on. We were all learning in real time. There was a lot of despair. There was a lot of stuff that was going on. So we made it out of that
It's
almost. Like we're still in it,
pandemonium. It
but
was
we
all
made it out of where
pandemonium.
we were. Right? We made it out of where we were. So why not just be happy that that the option was to see it in a theater or at home.
Yeah.
So
I feel
the
like
fact that we can
people
sit
don't
in the
appreciate the
theater and
fact that.
watch it, that's
Oh no. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I just said it was awesome just to be able to have that option now.
Right, yeah. People they don't. I feel like these new this new era of quote unquote fans, and I say quote unquote because these motherfuckers aren't fans. Because if they were, they would know how to separate fantasy from reality, but they don't. Obviously, they take it too seriously. Like, listen, I'm a horror movie buff. Like, since I was probably like 5 or 6 years old, I've been watching this shit nonstop. But I know that it's a
Mm-hmm.
movie. I'm not gonna send somebody death threats or be super pissed off at the roles that they played. It's like I'll be upset in my reviews or my trailer reactions and my commentaries and stuff, but I know it doesn't go farther than that. And these people nowadays, I feel like, first of all, we should be happy that people are able to go to. While I didn't see Halloween Kills in the theater, I watched it at home. I feel like people should be happy that we're able to go back to the theater and see these types of films, see horror films. For the horror junkies in particular, we should be happy that we're able to go back to the theater and see these movies, because there was a fucking point in time where this shit was shut down and we didn't know. Like, Halloween
Right.
Kills got pushed back for a year. And
Yeah.
I was banking on. I was like, oh my god. I was telling my cousin, not to put you on the spot, but I was telling my cousin, like, look, dog, I want to get an interview with CarMela McNeal. She's coming back for Halloween Kills. She's telling me the movie's gonna be dope, but it's getting pushed back a year. And he's just like, oh, we gotta wait a year. And I'm just like, it's all good. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there in time. And we got there. And here we are talking about it. But you have a lot of people that they just they feel so entitled, man, and they really don't know how to separate these things. Like, they don't know how to separate fantasy from reality. They just feel entitled to the point where they can say whatever they want about not even the characters, but the actors and actresses themselves. Like, I know how to detach myself. Like I said, I'm not trying to talk bad about Anthony Michael Hall. I had gripes, lots of gripes about the Tommy Doyle character, but I still like Anthony Michael Hall as an actor. That doesn't take away from the fact that,
Right.
because I didn't enjoy him the way that I wanted to in Halloween Kills, that doesn't mean I wouldn't watch the next Anthony Michael Hall movie. I would watch it just to see
So,
how he does.
you know,
But you got a lot
right.
of people out there that go, man, he was trash as Tommy Doyle, or I didn't like her as Vanessa, or I didn't like him as Marcus, or I didn't like her as Marion, and they won't go see the movie or any of the sequels because of that. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I really feel like people are just so brain warped, and that's this one of the reasons why I hold film and actors and actresses like yourself, like I hold that shit near and dear to my heart, because you guys got a full grasp on how to separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Like how you said CarMela would not be in that car. Vanessa was in that car, but CarMela in real life would not be in that car. It's a scenario. And you got people that don't understand that that's a scenario that this character is put in. Yeah, we can be passionate about it and shout at the screen, what are you doing? But at the end of the day, when the movie's over, these are real people playing real character, or playing characters at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really glad you said that. And with that being said, before we wrap things up, because I promise you I'm gonna wrap things up. I done took up way more of your time than I was supposed to. But with Vanessa's character arc in Halloween Kills, coming to a close, and it was a great close, it was a memorable close. Is there any horror series you would want to jump into after this? Like, is there anything that you watched growing up where it was like, I could take that person on, or I would want to be in that situation, or I wonder how I would do as a character in that type of movie? Like, is there anything like that you grew up watching where it was like you wanted to insert yourself into that role or into that situation? No.
No, because I was too scared to insert myself in any roles back then. Any horror roles. I was too scared to insert myself. I don't want to insert myself in horror movies.
Yeah.
But I will say, I would like to insert myself in a Jordan Peele project. So,
Ooh!
like Jordan.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
Like, call me Jordan. Call me.
Listen, Jordan, and if you call her, you better call me, because I'll DM Jordan Peele this episode after I upload it. Because listen, I would love, Jordan Peele is about to produce, I don't know if he's directing, but I'm sure he is behind a remake of The People Under the Stairs. And I said, who better? Because that movie has so much social commentary to it that people are not ready for.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So while we wrap it up, all right, these are the last questions. I swear to God, I'm asking you. These are only there are two top fives and two top threes that I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
So top five scariest
like
movie.
Speed round.
Yes, exactly. It's like a speed round. So top five scary movies of all time for you personally.
Ooh.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we going from 5 to 1.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever type of order you want to put them in. No particular order. Okay. Doesn't have to be.
All right, so The Thing.
Oh my.
The Thing by John Carpenter.
Yes. Yes.
Halloween 78.
Uh-huh.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
Uh-huh. Damn,
that's
these,
3, right?
You know these off the rip.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Wait, which one?
The original one. Like, I like the black and white one.
Oh, you like the one with Kevin McCarthy in it?
Yeah, I remember my mom had like plants hanging up in the bedroom,
and they look like pods. Yeah, I think that was like 19. I want to say 1958. I think, I'm not sure, but it was in the 50s. Yeah, the old black and white one.
And,
okay, that's 4.
And what else? Do we consider Alien? Is that like a?
Yeah, it's I mean, some people consider it sci-fi, gothic horror. It's a horror movie. It's a horror movie.
I would say Alien then, because Alien reminds me of The Thing.
Yeah,
like it's intergalactical thing. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Like, just the fact that it can take anything that can take over anyone's body.
I love it.
And anything that's true, a true story or anything like that. That's like the Conjuring and those things. I can't even get it out my mouth. Anything that was based on a true story, I don't want to bother with it, because I feel like it can happen to me. I just feel like it can happen to me.
I literally just did commentary for The Conjuring 3 last night, and I was like, I don't really like the Conjuring movies because they don't scare me. I feel like if I've seen one, I've seen them all. But I watched the Conjuring 3 last night. I gave it a solid 6.5 out of 10 because there were parts where I was like, "Oh, like nope, don't do that," because it like kind of scared me, kind of spooked me. But I like it's okay. But your picks are definitely. When I asked you which Invasion of Body Snatchers you were talking about, I thought you were talking about the remake with Donald Sutherland. That's in my top 5 scariest movies of all time. That shit that's a scary concept.
That's good too. That is really good
That
too.
is
But yeah, as far as what wrestling to do, I remember just watching the old one.
okay. So, all right, second part of the speed round before we get to the last part.
So,
Top 5 Philly MCs, and if you don't listen to hip hop all that much, that's cool. You can do your top 5 of Philly singers. Gotta ask you from the crib. I have
so
to ask.
it has to be rappers or it could be singers too.
What'd you say?
All right. So here we go. I said, let's do it then. All right.
Okay.
So, we know we gotta put Will Smith on there just because.
Absolutely.
And I think he's the DJ. I'm the rapper. I was like, I was in that album. Oh, and I even asked my mom to buy me a Lacoste Cortez sweatsuit and sneakers. So that's what they had on the cover, and Will was like this on the other side of Jeff, like this. Brand new song. I mean, I know every song on both of those albums. It's 2 hours, it's a 2 hour thing, so I know both. Okay, so Will Smith is definitely.
All right, that's number 1. Okay.
So Will Smith, the Tough Crew. I don't know if you remember them.
Okay. No. Yeah. We go back. Well, we don't go back, but I know who you're talking about.
Oh man, let me think, because I don't want to leave out anyone. What was the? Because you said rap, like I'm not really like.
Well, that's why I said, listen, you can. That's why I said top 5 hip hop MCs, and I said if you're not really too big on hip hop, you can pick 5 R&B artists. That's perfectly fine. Or you can break it down and you can split it in half.
The R&B has so many.
I know. Yeah. We got a lot. We got a lot.
What was the ones the song? Oh shoot, because I'm trying to give people props that I literally the Roots.
Absolutely. Yep.
Roots, right?
Shout out to the Roots. Shout out.
But what was the guys that was from Richard Allen? They was from Richard Allen Projects, and they had the song actually was called Richard Allen. They had a song called Richard Allen, and it was like a hot song. Shoot, I have to look them up and remember them. But yeah, they were good. The Roots, Will Smith. Who else did I say? I said somebody else.
Tough Crew, you said.
The Tough Crew.
Yeah, you said Tough Crew.
Yeah.
I think you got one more left in that slot.
I want to say EST. Like I'm old, so they're like old school, like EST.
Yo, you went back, like not too far back, but it's like, damn,
right,
you.
I'm the richest man alive.
I swear. Now I swear, when I wrote these little quick time questions, I was like, yeah, she'll probably say Eve, Beanie Siegel. I'm not sure, but I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting these. Like, damn.
No, I'm old, so I go back to old school. Like, I love old school stuff, so I'm like always old school.
I love it though.
Like. Definitely Eve. Who didn't want to be a pit bull in a skirt? Like I wanted to be Eve. Like when she came out, like she was decent, and she's still doing her thing. So that's cool as heck.
Yeah, she just dropped that. She just dropped like what was it? A TV show with her, Brandy, and I forgot who else was on there. Is it Notori Naughton that's on there? That's on that show?
Yeah, she's on there.
Yeah, Notori Naughton from Power's on there, and I can't remember the other actress's name.
So I got it. Ram Squad. It was Ram Squad.
Ooh, I keep forgetting they're from Philly.
Yeah, I'm going deep.
Ooh.
Anybody can give me
Okay, go ahead. Okay, see now.
It's the man, but yeah, like if we're talking about like, we didn't have a lot of like rappers that came from Philly. Most of our rappers we looked up to was from New York. So you know that's where hip hop was born. So that's what we basically. So if you would have asked me anybody hip hop period, I would have been like Rakim and.
Oh no. Well, you know, because you from the crib. Because you're from the crib, and I wanted to put an emphasis on that.
No, that's what I know. So that's why I was going deep back in, because
Damn, you said Rams. Oh my god, I gotta listen to some Ram Squad tonight.
Oh man.
Okay, so all right, the last quick time question is, what are your top 3 films that you're looking forward to that are about to come out? Like, is it anything that you have like that you saw the trailer for and you're just like, all right, I got to put everything aside to go see this, maybe with the kids or the husband. Oh, so none. You're just like, yeah, fuck it. Like I don't. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not saying it like that. But you're just like, yeah, it's nothing.
No, with me, I think with me now, and I know I keep going back to my mom's situation, but
Mm-hmm.
I just live day by day. Like I don't like I'm not because if I say that I want to see certain movies, which I haven't really looked at the trailers like that, which I love trailers to watch trailers,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't. So I've been too busy. So even if I did say I wanted to watch a movie and I didn't get a chance to watch it, like
Mm-hmm.
I put too much pressure on myself. So that's why I don't even do that. Like I don't like say like, oh, I'm going to sit down and watch Squid Game. Like I'm going to watch it on Tuesday. Because then if I don't do it on Tuesday, I'm like, damn it, I didn't get a chance to watch. And then I'm hard on myself. So I try not to do that. I try to live in my moments. So I haven't really thought about anything that I would like to see that's coming out now. But I'm a little biased, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna wear this on my sleeve. Anything David Gordon Green does, I will definitely support. I will definitely be ready to watch. I will definitely give him my all and my attention on anything that Danny McBride, Blumhouse, Universal, anything that they have, because they all believed in me.
Absolutely, and that's real.
And I thank them, and the best way to thank them is support them. So please support Halloween Kills. Please
Absolutely,
support
people.
Halloween Ends. Please support CarMela McNeal.
Y'all listening? Y'all hear that? Y'all listening?
Anything that they have coming up, anything that I have coming up, just know that we care about how you guys feel and that we're doing anything to make you guys happy and entertain you. That's it.
Listen, people, y'all heard it first. This is real games, no gimmicks, or whatever the hell Obi Trice said in that Eminem intro. But listen, people, y'all got it firsthand. We had CarMela McNeal on the show. First and foremost, CarMela, thank you so much for taking the time out to even be on on the podcast. I appreciate it. It was a long time coming, and I appreciate you letting me know, like, listen, let's wait till the movie comes out so we can talk spoilers and we can just discuss it and everything. I really appreciate you taking the time out as opposed to just being like, all right, well, I'll just do the interview right then and there. Timing is everything, and you're such a professional, and it was so good to have a conversation with you. But before I really truly close out, because I know I said I was going to close out 18 times already, I really just want to let you know that being as though we come from the same place, like, and me still being out here, I feel like I just want to let you know, and again, I'm not blowing smoke. I want to let you know that you are like such a beacon of light for people that are in, the field that we're in, for people that want to be in entertainment. Maybe they want to be writers, maybe they want to podcast, maybe they want to be an actress, maybe they want to be an actor, or just be an extra in movies or direct or produce. I feel like you are such a positive light in the sense that if you're coming from where we come from, if you stay diligent, if you stay persistent, you can like really get there and you can accomplish anything. And I just want to say you're amazing, and thank you so much for like really being the person that, like I said, a lot of people are not who they appear to be on social media, and it seems like you are absolutely that person that you are in your comments, in your posts, in your messages, in your Instagram stories, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much for thank you so much for being on here. Listen, pleasure is all mine. We are 2 hours and some change into this. I want to edit it, but I don't want to because it's just so raw and it's just so real. But thank you so much for being on this episode.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for your patience.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's never a problem.
Thank you for being one of my day ones with the Halloween.
Oh, come on now! Like, listen. Before I even seen Halloween Kills,
like R&B and you in
Halloween. Listen, no, come on now. I got the majority of the shit in my playlist is R&B. Like, I was an R&B nut before I was like big on hip hop, like straight up. You know what I mean? So it's like, we have a lot more in common than I had expected, but we come from the same place, and I feel like that's because you are in such a big franchise like Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018. I feel like you're still you're still the same person. You're still very humble. You're still very like
Oh yeah.
respectful, very very caring and stuff like that. And that's amazing, man. And that is just a testament to the person
Because
you are.
I know what it took to get here. I know what it took to get here. I know
Yeah,
it's not easy to
absolutely.
get where I know that. That's not lost on me. So I'm very thankful. I'm thankful that you guys care about my opinions and to talk to me. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm just glad to be part of this universe, this Halloween universe. This is amazing. It's mind blowing. It's we all grew up on it, so to be a part
Yeah,
of it and forever, like it's part of my legacy. Like
yeah,
being in Halloween,
absolutely.
two Halloween is a legacy that I'm leaving behind for my kids and my grandkids. Like they'll see the movie when I'm gone. Like
Yep,
they'll,
yep.
so it's huge. I don't take that for granted at all, at all, at all. And this has a special, very special place in my heart, along with David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, and the rest of everyone else who took a chance for me and Michael to come back and believed in us that we can carry that role. And I'm so glad we were able to do it. And it's
Right.
such a blessing.
And also a big shout out to David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, everybody, Michael Smallwood, Jamie Lee Curtis, Nancy Stevens, Kyle Richards,
Yes,
everybody that was
absolutely.
involved in the making of that movie. People, y'all know I usually do my my obligatory.
James Jude Courtney. Don't forget James Jude
Oh,
Courtney.
James and
Who
James,
is
Of course, James U. Courtney for scaring the fuck out of me during this movie because I wasn't sure. Listen, I thought everybody was gonna die. Like, I didn't know. I knew it was gonna be a body count, and I knew it was gonna end like Avengers: Infinity War on some "What do we do now?" Thanos one type of shit. But I had no idea that everybody was not going to die. So big shout out to James U. Courtney. He is definitely after Halloween Kills, he made his way into my top 5 Michael Myers portrayals. So big shout out to him.
he is the man.
Absolutely.
He is
But
the man.
people, y'all know I do my obligatory outro, but I'm not gonna do that right now because we're already 2 hours and 20 minutes and some change into this. So we'll catch y'all on the next one, people, and hopefully CarMela will get you on another episode to talk about the next role you have. Hopefully, fingers
Okay.
crossed. Fingers crossed.
Sounds
We'll
good
we'll
to
see
me.
you soon. But thank you so much for jumping on here with me. I
No problem.
appreciate you.
Thank
And
you.
big
I hope
shouts
it
out to
comes
you.
out good.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
All
All right.
right.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. See you later.
All right.
All right. Bye bye.